don't know what you're doing, so.
So,
Kate said, don't look to me.
I prepared.
We have questions to ask them.
Right. So you don't have to do it on public, then you can do that in public,
Yeah.
so it's up to you.
We have to sit over there and ask them questions.
Put them to the test.
so should we elevate Joe?
Sure, whoever you want, you can do elevate anybody you want. I'll write it down.
Do Joe and Tia.
Because we don't have Adam,
No.
so,
So it's Joe and Tia.
okay. Okay, both?
Yeah.
No, why not?
Okay, sure. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to elevate Joe and Tia both as, from alternates to full board member tonight.
Second?
Motion been made and seconded to elevate our alternates. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Approval of the agenda as presented.
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll
Approve the
second
agenda.
it.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the agenda.
I'm sorry, I got a text from Linda about the warrant article. What was that? Didn't hear who did the motion. I'm sorry.
To approve the agenda.
Yeah, who voted? I'm sorry. Who made the motion?
I made the motion, Paul, second.
Thank you. Sorry. I have your answer.
Number 4 is approval of the minutes of the December 3rd meeting.
Make a motion.
I had one edit. It was just from the consultant is HEB, SE Group, HEB, down in Old Business Master Plan Steering Committee. 2, 3, 4, bullet 4.
Oh, yep, gotcha.
What was that, Tia?
HEB,
I had
SE Group,
HB instead of HEB.
but that was just the name of the consulting firm.
Oh.
And a motion?
I did.
Oh,
Made a motion.
a motion been made and seconded to,
Seconded it? Oh, you again.
Me again.
to approve the December meeting minutes as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. New business. We have a public hearing to consider and accept public input on the following zoning ordinances and changes. And how are we going to do this so it makes sense?
Are we just skipping public comment? Is that the,
Jim?
are we skipping public comment? Is there,
Oh, yeah, I guess we did. Public comment? Okay.
The only one here, Nicole Nordland. I had, well, 2 questions before I start. Public comment, I do have something to add, but public hearing, does that mean you can comment as you go through them, or, so I can raise my hand during that process, or
Yes.
say it all now?
Yes.
Yes, during the process, okay. So public comment in general, since you all brought it up earlier, I would like to know if this board would consider, we passed a warrant article, I think it was 2 meetings ago, for building permits for necessary without a change in footprint. If it's over 8,500 on, based on your conversation earlier, I would like to see if you consider rewriting that to 15,000. That they're not necessarily necessary unless you spend over 15,000.
And is that a planning function or is that a selectman function?
I thought it was a planning function last time, but I could be wrong. I thought it was like planning and zoning, but
All I know is it went in as a warrant article and was voted at the town meeting, it was amended. It was proposed at
Yeah.
5,000, it was amended by somebody, and the town voted to make it 8,500.
right. And since since it was 2 years ago, things consistently almost doubled, it's kind of like covering the same things, same items, right? And it doesn't look like they're coming down, and I think to make it less burdensome on the taxpayer, it would be fair to reconsider that, if we're gonna stay with these prices.
And I really think that's a selectman function, no?
I don't know. I would have concerns with that, not that I'm not in favor of making it easy for people financially, but from the code side of things and safety side of things, there's a lot of remodeling that can get done, bedrooms created, things like that, not having egress windows, not having proper smoke detectors, excuse me, that those things could be done if they keep it under that $15,000 limit. Without a permit, there's no inspections. From a safety perspective, that's the only concern I would have with it.
And my concern is their safety is not my business, because this is New Hampshire.
And I know that I don't recall this board making that decision ever. So I assume it's more under the selectmen's permitting authority than ours.
Yeah, I just, in my mind, I guess that I look at the select board as the executive branch rather than legislative branch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but they set dump fees and boat fees and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. So you think it falls into like the fee
Yeah.
category?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is my recall, but I'm willing to be called wrong too. So I would check with the select men,
Okay.
select
I
person,
know a couple.
people, persons. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, good. And you get back to us too.
Okay.
So,
Oh, I will if you have to write it.
because, yeah, I mean, you can go to Home Depot and spend $15,000 and throw it in the back of your pickup truck.
Absolutely, and that's why I feel like it's to be, plenty of towns around us don't even have.
But certainly it's something that should be a discussion with the building inspector as well.
Yes.
Right.
So, because he sees more of it on the ground than we do.
Right.
Okay, now we'll go back from any more public comment. Hearing no more public comment, I will close the public comment period. New business, we have the public hearing to consider and accept public input on the following zoning ordinance changes. These were mostly generated from changes in state laws, and we all have a copy of these. I can read it for TV, I don't know, what do you think? Read it aloud, so,
You did it before with 1.3B, stage one.
huh?
You did it before with 1.3B. I remember that was my first meeting ever.
1.3B, we did that for like 3 years in a row. So, amendment number 1 as proposed by the planning board for the Madison zoning ordinance as follows. Rural residential district A permitted uses for multiple housing, cluster housing, townhouses, condominiums, apartments, as regulated by the subdivision regulation with a minimum of 2 acres of contiguous land for each dwelling unit. Not applicable to ADUs. Which says, essentially, that if you have a condo, you can't do an ADU, I believe.
Well, we can no longer require 2 acres to have a detached ADU.
Right.
That's part of it, is there's no physical size limit on the lot anymore. Currently, you have to have 2 acres to have a detached ADU.
Oh, you have to, okay.
So this eliminates that 2 acre requirement. So we
And
have
the-
modified that.
Okay. And this is all from state regulations, right?
Yeah, there's a handout, the revised law on accessory dwelling units, I think you guys have.
Yeah. it's 11.3, which does what I just said. So amend Article 11, accessory dwelling units. And it says restriction on accessory dwelling units, the single-family dwelling and the accessory dwelling unit and lot shall remain in common ownership at all times and shall not be converted to a condominium or any other form of ownership. We're adding ADU associated with multiple single-family dwellings attached to each other, such as townhouses, are prohibited.
Can I ask a question? So, if all the townhouses are, I don't think this really applies here, but all the townhouses are owned by the same person and they have plenty of space to put a cabin out back, they can't? And what's the reason for that?
And I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's restrictive just for the sake of being restrictive rather than,
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I don't understand, what would the reason be to add this?
I don't know if it comes from the state, I'm trying to figure it out. That's why I'm here, just go through line by line. I assume the planning board put these together, so I don't know.
And I think this all came out of the RSA.
We're allowed to restrict it. I don't think the state restricts it, but the state says that we're allowed to restrict it, I think. Is how I read it.
Yeah, if you look on page 2 of that handout,
If you look on the revised law on accessory dwelling units, 2025 edition, it explains it, and I gave that to everybody already. This law went into effect on July 1st, 2025. So an accessory dwelling unit means a residential living unit that is located on a lot containing a single-family dwelling that provides independent living facilities for one or more persons, including provisions for sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation, on the same parcel of land as the principal dwelling unit is accompanies. Accessory dwelling units may be constructed at the same time as the principal dwelling unit. An attached unit means a unit that is within or physically connected to the principal dwelling unit or completely contained within a pre-existing detached structure. A detached unit means a unit that is neither within nor physically connected to the principal dwelling unit nor completely contained within a pre-existing detached structure.
As an
Again, why are they striking that language out?
my suggestion on that part, what Kate just read, those are state definitions now. My suggestion would be that we replace our accessory dwelling unit definition with this one, so that it matches what the state's rules are. And I would add, so the definition of accessory dwelling unit that Kate just read, the town is allowed to restrict 1 ADU per lot. Do you wanna put that on there, just so that it jives with the rest of the language throughout?
So our accessory dwelling unit definition is a residential living unit that is located on a lot containing a single-family dwelling that provides independent living facilities for one or more persons, including provisions for sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation on the same parcel of land as the principal dwelling unit it accompanies. Accessory dwelling units may be constructed at the same time as the principal dwelling unit. So that would be our proposed definition.
And you may wanna add only 1 ADU per lot.
Well,
Well, it's in
Mr.
here,
Chairman,
it's
I'm-
already in here on Carrie Ann's requirements, on amend 11.4, 1 ADU is permitted, it's already there. On her proposed warrant articles.
That the one she highlighted, Kate, in red?
It would be amendment 11-4
Right,
requirements.
I just referred you to that.
Striking all the existing language and replacing it with
Correct.
one ADU is permitted per detached single-family dwelling, provided the lot is an existing legal lot of record. B is the ADU shall comply with all zoning regulations for single-family detached dwelling units, including but not limited to setbacks, height limits, and lot coverage. An ADU shall require a building permit and a certificate of occupancy. D is an ADU shall not be considered to be an additional dwelling unit for the purposes of determining minimum lot size or development density of the property. That would be the one we just talked about. E would be the structure in the lot shall not be converted to any form of legal ownership distinct from the ownership of the principal single-family dwelling. No condominiums. F is the applicant shall make adequate provisions for water and sewer disposal in accordance with RSA 485-A:38. Separate utility connections are not required. G is both the ADU and the primary residence shall comply with the state building codes and fire code regulations for construction, minimum living space, fire exits, and smoke alarms. H is the owner of an ADU shall reside in either the principal dwelling or the ADU as their principal place of residence, and shall provide proof of such when applying for a residential building application for the ADU. Such proof shall include an affidavit signed and notarized stating that the principal dwelling unit or the ADU is the owner's principal place of residence, and shall also include documentation such as vehicle registration, voter registrations, driver's license, or other similar conclusive documentation. So H1 is, for purpose of this section, principal place of residence shall mean that one place where a person, more than any other place, has established physical presence and manifests an intent to maintain a single continuous presence for domestic, social, and civil purposes. 2 is, if the property is not a natural persons, the term property owner shall mean as follows. If the defined property owner below is not a natural person, the property owner definitions below continue to apply until a natural person is identified.
Can you explain number 2? Like, my house is in a trust.
So, well, it says for a trust, the creator or beneficial of the trust. For a corporation, the principal or majority of shareholder, stockholder. 3 is for a partnership, a partner. And 4 is for a limited liability corporation, a member.
But that doesn't eliminate them from building the ADU?
Right.
Okay, just making sure.
It just means that the natural person has to live in one of the units, whether it's the primary or the ADU.
Right.
And I don't know why. I don't know if I really like that as an idea.
I don't either, but,
If the point is to make additional dwelling units, who cares who lives in them?
exactly.
Exactly.
If you wanna go to Bali for a year and you have 2 spots, who's to say who's-
And I stay in a day extra,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
my principal place will not be.
And how is it enforceable?
Well, I get hammered with this argument constantly all the time, and I can tell you why, I don't know, some towns have done this, or at least why some people are interested in having the owner live in one or the other. The people I hear from the most are the ones that are putting up with bad actors that are renting or doing whatever. The comments I hear a lot of times is if the owner lived there, he would be less likely to have that type of activity. I'm not saying I'm for or against, but these are comments that I hear. For example, the police department a few years ago had to respond to one particular place like 6 times over a weekend. And they called the owner who lived in Rhode Island, and the response was, that's what I pay taxes for. They were trying to get the owner to take care of it and stop the activity. And it just wasn't happening, and the owner wasn't there. So I think those types of situations are where those suggestions come from.
So, Mr. Chairman, like, comment on that. So you're saying if there's one bad actor,
I'm not saying it.
no, I'm just saying, based on that story, there's one bad actor, then every actor needs to be penalized.
No, I've heard that type of comment.
Yeah, I think there's
from a
more
lot
than
of
one
people.
bad actor.
A lot of people.
Well, did you have an example?
No, but people are people.
I know, but it's just
But it
based
could
on
be-
that comment, that is saying that you're looking at the worst of people right away. Saying people are people. There's more good actors than bad actors, I would argue.
But laws are in place to protect good people.
Where I used to
Does
work.
it change the usage, like does it change the usage of your home if you are renting out both pieces of it? So does it turn it into like
Short-term.
either short-term or long-term, but is it then a rental complex, or, I don't know how you would code it, but is it a for-profit business at that point?
Well,
Instead of
I
a
mean,
single,
look
I'm
at
just
it like, I'm gonna,
wondering.
I have an ADU on my property, say, okay? I get a little older, my relative still lives in the ADU, and I wanna move out of my house and rent my house. I'm not allowed to do that? Is that what this is saying? If that's what this is saying, that is, against my rights as a property owner.
But you'd still be the property owner. I don't,
That's not what this is saying. It's saying I have to be there. I can't rent it out. That's what this is saying.
so if you move out,
Yeah.
you can't rent the other half of the house.
Right.
Delete the ADU.
Right. So, I have a relative, lives in the ADU. Next year I move out of my house because I want to go to Bali,
Or you die.
right?
Yeah.
And to pay my taxes, I want to rent my home. I no longer live there. I am as a rental property. You guys are telling me I cannot rent my own home? That's criminal. That's against your property rights.
All the board is looking at is what the state law says. The state law just says the town may issue that as part of their rules. They don't have to.
Right.
It's allowable. Some towns, I guess, do, some don't. I have no idea.
Seems Hebron does.
Yeah,
that was
the
her
Hebron,
mistake.
I'm
She
not
did
going
it.
to
She made
Hebron.
it.
No, I'm not moving to that
Bad.
town for sure.
Yeah, she made a typo.
But I don't know why we would
Rather
want to
not
be
have it.
that punitive. It's almost punitive.
Now would be the opportunity to make a motion
I would make a motion to strike that.
to delete H entirely.
Strike H, yes. How, I mean,
I'll second it.
thank
Because
you.
I don't think that if it needs to be changed, we can change it. If, right?
I tend to, I don't, well, one thing, I don't know how you'd, I don't know how you'd enforce it. But, but if the motivation is to create dwelling units, Who cares who lives in them? What difference does it make?
I concur.
And you're still the owner, so you are responsible for the property. If somebody's getting,
Even if it's a single-family house.
yeah. So if the cops are being called, like, you're still the owner, you still have to respond to that.
Yeah.
I
Even-
see it as some kind of overreach and it's restricting my rights as a property owner. I should be able to leave and rent my home even if I have an accessory dwelling unit that's legal and someone's living there. You're telling me I can't, and when I buy a piece of property, it's my property. I could come and go as I please.
Nope, you have to stay there. Just kidding.
It's my understanding, sticking solely with the ADU discussion and not going into, because that really is what it's about. One, the spirit of the intent of the law is, and believe me, I'm not in favor of the state telling us what to do at all. But I also am not in favor of the town telling people what they can and can't do with their property. So the spirit of the intent of the law is to, like Mark said, I agree, to create more housing. So if I leave, that just creates more housing. And I don't think that the ADU laws in general have been around enough, especially in the town of Madison, to be taken advantage enough for us to have data to go on. You know, I inquired at town hall maybe a year ago, and I think there was 4. You know, so what are we have to base, if we're talking about ADUs, we're only basing our discussion on ADUs, not rentals in general, because I've been a landlord for 25 years, so I know my way around that kind of thing. Mark probably does too, but I just feel like we have to stick with the ADUs, and I'm in agreement that all should be stricken, especially when you get into an affidavit every 2 years, and that just seems like government overreach, for sure.
So a motion has been made and seconded to strike,
Actually, to say, so then wouldn't that change G to as the primary residence? Would it change everything up above? Sorry, before.
G? it changed H.
Sorry, H, and wouldn't it change the wording through G before it?
Throughout.
If it's not if we're saying you don't have to be the primary resident, or the.
Yeah, but H would take out H 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Which if you get down closer to 3, how is that enforceable?
Especially in Hebron. I'm just kidding.
I don't think she meant to do that, I didn't catch it when she did it.
So,
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
so motion's been made and seconded?
Yes.
So motion's been made and seconded to delete H. Any further
In
discussion?
its entirety.
H entirely. H 1, 2, 1 through 4, and 3.
1 through 3. Oh, and you're talking about the.
Yeah, yep.
Gotcha, I was gonna do 1.
So H in its entirety. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, we'll vote on deleting H and our proposed ADU changes. All those in favor of deleting H, vote by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
What? You see? Yes?
I think Paul said is not in favor, and the rest of us are in favor. The I is the maximum size of an ADU shall not exceed 800 feet.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna go down this road again.
Here we go.
Last week, if somebody is building an ADU, especially at an area like where we live, and wants a bigger mudroom, on their way into the house, and as you said last time, you know, you figure an 8x8 addition, 64 square feet, that's nothing, right? So I proposed to make it 950 square feet, which, as we just talked about, puts us in line with what the state says. So how can we make an argument to go with the state and then, and the next, you know, the next regulation say, nah, we don't wanna go with the state? Right, they say 950, if we're gonna go one way or the other, let's do it. What's 150 square feet?
We discussed this last time and we defeated it. Why are we bringing it up again?
Well, no, we discussed it last time, and then we were told to bring it up at the public hearing. So that's why I'm bringing it up at the public hearing. So-
I was gonna say 1,200 square feet. It's not a maximum of 950 by state, by the RSA. If we wanted to change it, we could increase it. I was just thinking, like, my poor granny, like, if she doesn't have enough room to move in there, it has to be between 750 and it can be up to 950 unless we say otherwise. Like, if I want to cram my mom or my grandmother or anybody on the back of my house, which I may need to do at some point, but I wouldn't want them to be stuck. Or if I have a bigger garage and I want to put something up above my garage, which I don't have, but if I wanted to, I wouldn't want to have to limit that and shrink that down per se. But that's just my thought on it.
And what is the spirit of limiting it? Tell me.
I think it's more to have a sort of a primary and a secondary versus a duplex.
But I do.
So 150 square feet is going to tell you what that is
150
compared to.
is pretty small. So,
It is.
Trying to control some growth here, I think, too.
Well, the state has actually done that by mentioning 950 square feet. Why do we, as a town, have to be so restrictive and say 800? I don't think it's a stretch to add, you know,
I think it might
10
look
by
nicer.
15,
It is.
somebody's mudroom. It's a laundry, like Tia just mentioned. You know, or God forbid, my mother. You know, I want to build an ADU and I have to limit the size that she could get around with to 800 square feet. Right. So, why are we limiting that? What would the reason be? You say the size compared to the house.
well.
Could I ask Bob what the size of the houses being built in town are right now? The two houses, say on 3,500 square feet?
No, I don't think they're that much. Look, I don't think they're that much, but
Right.
the 800 square feet, because that came back, I think that was in 2015 when the ADU ordinance was put in. That was at that time 50 square feet over what the state's minimum was. So when they proposed the ADU law, it was 750 square feet. So the towns had to comply with that, and we already had 800. So this 950, that's something that's new.
So maybe we should go to 1,000. 50 feet more than we went 50 feet over the last time.
I think doesn't it say,
Right now it says 800. I don't know why we're sticking with 800.
no, I think the state,
No, it's
didn't I
not the
see something
maximum.
700 to 950?
Yeah.
But it's
950 's max,
not-
right?
It's
It
not
was-
the max.
It says right here, minimum maximum sizes, the ordinance may establish size limits for ADUs, but it may not limit an ADU to less than 750 square feet. The total living space of the accessory dwelling unit shall not exceed 950 square feet unless otherwise authorized by the municipality.
So we can go over.
But so why do we have this 800 number?
The ADU stuff, and I just go from experience when I've started, so ADUs, I think initially were, let's create the in-law apartment. Let's take care of mom and dad as they're getting older and all that. And it's morphed, what I've seen, my experience, what I've seen is, it has gone from that personal caring about family members, creating space to have them move in with you, to greed. I'm seeing a lot of it, they wanna expand it. It's not about mom and dad anymore, it's about rentals and
In town?
just what I've dealt with. And, you know, that's fine, if that's what's allowed, that's what's allowed, but I hear a lot of folks that are, you know, they kinda get on there and talk with, pull the heartstrings from mom and dad, but it turns out to be a rental, and you go to Bali or whatever it is. you know.
Can I ask what business that is of the town anyway?
It's not, I'm just making a statement.
It's not.
This is what
It's
I'm seeing.
not.
But I'm also seeing a lot of selfish people push their own personal agenda.
A bad actor.
I have a question.
Nicole?
So I was very excited about the ADUs when they came around back in the day, and I attended all the meetings the state held at, and I think the majority of them were at the water treatment plant in North Conway. So the actual spirit of the intent wasn't to take care of mom and dad, it was to help us pay taxes that were increasing, and so that, that younger people would have an affordable place to live. That it would open up more rentals for our workforce. That is basically the mainstream of every seminar I went on by the Housing Coalition in North Conway, which brought the state people in. So, I don't remember in-law apartments being mentioned at all. Not that it's not an option, it's a great option for some, but, and maybe even now, a great option to, you know, if your kids come back, which, we don't want that, but you know what I mean, like, you know, for them, so that they're not in your space, cause you could never go home and live with mom and dad, but that, I can attest that the spirit of the intent was to create a workforce housing and help the people as they get on fixed incomes, which we were talking about the budget forever last night, and we have to represent the people on fixed incomes with increase in costs and everything, and the expensive equipment we're buying, and how the budget is ballooning and ballooning. It gives people a way to continue to be able to stay in their homes and pay and own their property, especially even if they don't wanna stay in their home and they wanna move away, but wanna leave that property to their children, to continue to pay those taxes, and that was definitely the theme for every seminar I went to. And they, you know, I was super excited when the state did. I haven't been able to take advantage of it myself yet, but it is definitely in my plans to hopefully one day be able to have an ADU, but in the meantime, I don't think 150 square feet or a larger mudroom, I don't know whose feelings that would hurt, if that was the case, and going further, I don't know how we would prove how many people live in one. I mean, some of these just seem a little.
Yeah, let's do one thing at a time.
Yeah, okay, so anyway, I went to, and like I said, it's my understanding, experience-wise, when I inquired at the town hall, I don't know if I talked to Bob directly 2 years ago, or I asked Linda or Kate, there was only like 4 in Madison, so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I thought there was only like 4 at the time last year that had been, you know, and I think my comment back was, wow, I'm surprised people didn't take more advantage of that, you know,
It's too expensive. I mean, if your
for
septic's,
building, yeah.
if your septic's not there and you have to throw in a $35,000.
You're right, except that the state at the time, and I don't know, I don't see that it changed anything, does not require you to put in a new septic. What it does require you is to submit a septic plan, so that should your current septic fail, if you wanna use it, that you actually have, as you know, the space compared to the well, compared to, you know, like some non-conforming lots are so
Yeah.
tiny, they can't get the extra space, because it would be, not have the 75 foot setback from the well and stuff, so actually, our town at the time chose to make it more restrictive, but the state requires you to have a licensed septic planner, have it stamped, so that the minute your septic should fail, if you choose to use it for your dwelling units, your home and your dwelling unit, that you have the capability to replace it immediately, and you were not.
So you're saying that the state is requiring you to have a stamped septic design
Approved, yeah.
approved on file, and you know that those only last for 2 years, so you're gonna go back to your designer and pay him again to do
Yeah.
it again?
I don't know if you have to keep it up,
State?
I doubt it, but I think that the whole point is like, if I think about a couple of my neighbors, their lot is so tiny, where if you're on a 3, 5 acre, you're gonna get your there's room for a septic. But some of those little non-conforming lots, you're never gonna be able to get that bigger septic in, there's just no way to be able to, you know what I mean, if you try to do a design on that kind of lot. But the original was that they couldn't make you replace the septic. The state wasn't gonna make you replace the septic up front. It was just make sure that you have the ability to.
So we do.
If I,
But we require it.
Madison's more restrictive than
We do
the
not.
state.
So, I'm sorry, I didn't want to.
no, that's okay,
So, when you have to get, the only time you have to get a septic, either new system or upgrade, is if you exceed the number of bedrooms of the system you already have that you're using. So if you had an ADU, you've got a 3-bedroom house and you have a 3-bedroom septic system, and you add an ADU with an additional bedroom, then you've gotta do one of two things, you've either gotta upgrade your system, or, as our ordinance says, you need a letter from a licensed septic designer that says this current system is adequate to handle the extra bedroom.
I wasn't given that option.
That's what our ordinance says, so.
yeah, and I would agree with that. And then this amendment also says that, the applicant shall make adequate provisions for water supply and sewage disposal. Separate utility connections are not required. And I think we need to go back again to the intent of the ADUs. And I think originally it was for, workforce development, so that we could have people coming into the community, the state, and being able to, have affordable housing. I think that's critical. But I also think the intent was, and we will find it in our own surveys that are happening, is we want to preserve the town atmosphere and what this town is about. And this town isn't about high-rise apartments. It isn't about having a strip mall in the center of town. It's about a community and a rural development. And it's also about being able to have a workforce that does what it's supposed to do. But I think yes, we want to have a primary residence, and we may have to have a place for our parents. Being a parent, maybe for my kids now.
Don't say
But we have to have that. But it doesn't have to be a palace. 800 feet may be too small, but I think, again, in what our responsibility as a planning board is to look at that future and say, I'm in favor of an ADU. I really am, and have been before they were even thought of. But I think it is our responsibilities to look at preserving what we want our town to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and what housing will be like. I agree, 800 feet is small, but I think it also is the intent to, of these types of plans, to look at how much development do we want to have, and how do we control that? And I'd rather be cautious about it. 800 feet is small. I would agree with 950, but, I wouldn't agree to, let's put up let's put in 3 more units and have them be 40 feet high, and I don't care who lives in them. By that I mean, we can rent them out and turn them into condos or whatever else. That's what this is meant to do. So I think that's what we need to try and do, is look at what's the best for the future, what is reasonable thing to do, and I'd rather be cautious about it and say, let's start out small, and if we need to expand, we can expand. So I would be absolutely in favor of 950 feet, going with that. I agree that we should strike item H, but I also think that we need to be careful about how we project in the future, so that's my 2 cents.
The question earlier is about, square footage of houses, and permits are right. The majority of these single-story houses that I issue permits for are under 2,000 square feet. A lot of them are 1,600, 1,200.
Yeah.
So, if you're expanding the ADU to the point where it's almost that big, it's almost 2 houses there.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to going up to 950, I'm not opposed to that at all, but I think the intent with an accessory dwelling unit is to be accessory to the primary.
Exactly.
Not to
Yes.
become almost as big as. And I think that's where the state is coming from.
I've seen
And-
some, oh, go ahead.
Go.
I've
Good
seen
point.
some, ordinances that have a percentage, so it can't be, more than 50% of your current or the primary house. Not that I like being more restrictive, but, that's also an option. And then I've seen some ordinances that allow for 2 ADUs, attached and a detached, if you have the space, and they're allowing people to repurpose their like barns and fashion them into it, things like that. So people are getting kind of creative with it, but if it helps to put a percentage on it, maybe.
Have we ever run into more than one ADU? I thought the ADU was always just one AD unit per residential lot.
Right.
Am I correct or?
That's the way it has been, and that's.
I mean, I always thought that was the intent, and that's what we were looking for. We're not looking for
Yeah.
apartment buildings.
Right.
We're looking for one ADU.
Per lot.
With all due respect, I'm just questioning the square footage.
I understand, I'm just, has this been thrown around?
I would make a motion to change that 800 to 950 square feet.
A motion's been made
I'll second it.
and seconded to change I, the maximum size of an ADU shall not exceed 950 square feet. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor of increasing the size to 950 square feet, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Let's not argue about things we agree with. We'll be here all night.
Well,
Okay, how about 2 bedrooms? There shall be no more than 2 bedrooms in an ADU.
I think that should go away too.
Yeah, but if you're in 950 square feet, you're getting down to where your bedrooms won't be big enough to be legal, right?
Well,
And we
Is
get
that
at
with a
least 70
closet
square feet.
or?
I look
At
at
least
the,
70 square feet,
70?
70?
minimum room size.
Mr. Chairman, I look at K after that, where then it says no more than 4 persons.
Well, no, we're gonna do one letter
Okay,
at a time.
well, I mean, one kind of relates to the other. I'll go there. Sorry.
Any more input on no more than 2 bedrooms? We're gonna let that one slide.
Well, the RSA says that we can't limit it to 1 bedroom. So by limiting, so we're just saying, okay, we're gonna limit it by 2 bedrooms then.
Yeah.
Is that? Okay.
It's,
I just don't see the point if you,
I think it's unenforceable, but
yeah, and
this one.
Tia, I think it may also have to do with, again, the square footage that we have, the sewage systems and stuff, and so 2 bedrooms seems reasonable to me, keeping it small. You know,
And plus, bedrooms could equal cars pretty quickly, and we can only have 1 parking space. So if you had-
additional,
hence K.
additional, right? And we're adding,
There
we're saying
comes
you
K.
have to provide at least 1.
At least 1, yeah,
Yeah.
so. So are we happy with I? J, is there, shall be, no, we're happy with J rather. K
can
is
we-
no more than 4 persons shall occupy an ADU.
Sorry, can we vote to say that we're not going to, because I'm asking to scratch it completely. Should we vote to say that yes or no?
We can vote
Or-
Make a
anything you
I
would
know,
suggest.
oh, make a motion, okay, so I make a motion to scratch J.
I will second that motion. I believe it's unenforceable, anyway.
Yeah, that, a motion been made and seconded to eliminate the K, no more than 4 persons shall occupy an ADU.
J
And
and
J.
J.
Jay, 2
You're really
bedrooms.
tired tonight, aren't you?
We haven't got to the
Poor
4
Mark.
people yet.
Well, actually, both of them, I
I
don't know
thought
if we
we
have to do
He's
one for
tired.
each.
I thought we did, I thought,
It was my fault, I was
no,
kind
I
of
was
lumping
done
J
talking,
and
I
K
was done
together.
talking about J.
I may not come in. No, always here. What was that?
I thought, I was done talking about J, saying no more than no more than
But
2
they
bed.
just made
I know, I was going
a
back.
motion.
I was going back because I wanted to scratch it, but we didn't
Oh,
vote.
They didn't vote,
You didn't
so-
convince me. Sorry.
So Tia put a motion on the floor, Carl seconded to scratch.
there are
J.
no more than 4 people, so we're talking
2
about.
bedrooms.
Two bedrooms, we're not
Jay.
at 4 people
Jay,
yet, we're still in
on
the
Jay.
bedrooms. We're still in the bedrooms, Jay.
Oh, I
We went
left
back to
J.
J.
Okay,
So
we're
yes,
going
back
to,
a vote.
okay, so we're speaking of J now.
Correct.
There shall be no more than 2 bedrooms in an ADU.
Yes. And there's a motion on the floor from Tia, seconded by Carl, and now you need to vote on it. Okay.
Can we hear the motion again, please?
The motion is to scratch J,
Yeah.
to completely remove it.
I'll just say remove, not scratch, that doesn't, I don't know.
Thank you.
Like that wording, sorry.
It's fine.
I think that we should leave J, because 2 bedrooms is 2 cars, and we're only requiring them to add 1 car.
Why?
Why?
Density.
Because in the big city, if you had to have 2 parking spaces, you'd really be restricting.
I understand, Mr. Chairman, but as other people on the board have argued in the past too, we're trying to keep, this isn't the big city. Right?
Yeah,
This
but we
is a
can't
rural-
enforce that. I mean, we can't, if they come in with 3 bedrooms and 1 parking space, that would be legal. And if that was your neighbor, you might not be all that
I
happy.
concur, but
What
then
if
we
you-
look at K, which is 4 people. So those 4 people are gonna be driving around in 1 car?
I don't think we've got the K yet.
We didn't, but we're
Let's do
looking
J.
at the whole, I know.
I thought we had done J, actually, which is
We
why,
didn't
I
vote
brought
on
it back up.
It hasn't been voted on, I don't believe.
We have,
I didn't hear,
the second was Carl.
Yes,
that was the 4 persons,
No.
Nope.
No.
that was
J.
J.
2 bedrooms.
okay.
We're on J.
I'm gonna look at this tape.
You're really tired. It's J.
Somebody.
So-
We talked about it, then you.
So, let's go to, we
just
gotta
need to
do
vote.
1
All
letter at
those
a
in
time,
favor?
okay?
All those in favor?
Okay,
J.
J,
Yes.
there'll be, so, referring to J, what is the board's pleasure?
Well, I think there's a motion on the table and a second.
There's a motion on
To
the
accept
floor to say
remove
exactly
it.
To
what.
remove
To remove
J
it.
in its entirety.
Eliminate J.
Eliminate J.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
So a motion has been made and seconded to eliminate J and allow as many bedrooms as you can get into your 950 square feet, when you can only have to add 1 parking space.
And 4 people.
Yes.
Just keep in mind,
Correct.
those rooms do have to meet minimum code standards, square footage, so. that-
Right, so at one point,
Which
you're
was
gonna
70
get,
square feet,
you're
is
gonna
what you
get
said?
squeezed
So
out
7 by
anyway.
10.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking if you have 2 kids and, or whatever the situation is, if you need a 3rd bedroom and you can't, you're not allowed to put it in.
We're building ADUs, we're not building.
Yeah.
I know, but there
Exactly.
might be young families
be young
in there, there
families.
might be
Let's just
older
vote on it.
adults,
And,
yes.
if I may add,
I have
it's
more
probably
discussion.
no one else's business but the property owners.
Okay, so J, a motion was made and seconded to eliminate J.
In its entirety, yep.
Is, huh?
Never.
To eliminate J.
Get rid of it.
Forget it, just go on, Mark.
It's hard to believe I'm
Forget
saying.
about it.
I'll
Am I
take care of it.
correct?
Yep,
Yes.
you're
Call for
good.
a vote,
Yes.
please.
All
I'm
good.
gonna lose this one.
You are good.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of eliminating J, vote by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
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 How many no's? All right, so Paul, Joe, no. Paul Littlefield, no. Mark Olson, no. Paul Marks, no.
Me, no.
Donna, no. Tia,
Yes.
and Carl, well,
I was a yes.
Alice.
So the motion fails, and J will survive.
Okay.
K is no more than 4 persons shall occupy an ADU.
I will make a motion to remove K as well.
I'll second it.
A motion has been made and seconded to remove K.
And if I could comment that, you know, how many times are you gonna see 4 people driving around in the same car? If you're limiting it to, you know, 1 parking spot and 2 bedrooms.
Well,
Not a perfect world we're living in.
Yeah. Again, I think that's like kind of an overreach. As Tia was saying, you know, what happens if you have, you know, a daughter or son who comes across circumstances and they have multiple kids, right?
I
You
do,
can't have
I do
4
not see how
people.
this is enforceable anyways.
I don't think it is either, and that's why I don't think it should be in. In
I
our
agree with you
ordinance.
on that.
Let's vote then.
It seems like a lot of times we have these regulations that are kind of unenforceable and it ends up
Okay.
getting in trouble.
A motion been made and seconded to remove K. Any further discussion? All those in favor of removing K, vote by saying aye.
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 All right, so Joe, yes. Paul, is that everybody? Yes?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, darn it.
Okay, here we go, quick. L is ADUs that are attached to a single-family dwelling shall have either an independent means of egress or an ingress or egress, and egress and ingress through a common spare or shared space with principal dwelling. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, always been that
I
way.
mean, if it's
Yeah.
attached, it's attached.
One off-street parking space shall be provided for ADU in addition to those required for the primary residence. This requires ADU what may be provided either on-site or at a legally dedicated off-site location at the property owner's discretion. I think we're stuck with that as state law. N is ADUs associated with rented or leased land are prohibited. O is RV campers or mobile homes are not allowed for use as an ADU.
I have a
we
question.
remove them. I was
Are
just
we
wondering.
meeting N, okay? Are we good with N? Okay, just want, I have to write it down, so.
So mobile homes are not allowed as an ADU? A lot of mobile homes are 950 square feet or less, right? You can't put a mobile home on in the back of your property and have it be considered an ADU?
That's what this
It's
says.
the same.
Our ordinance
Is there-
currently prohibits mobile homes as ADUs.
I know, but
Can I ask
so we
why?
can change it right now.
It was put in 2015.
I mean, Mr. Chairman, if I say wanna live in my property for the summer and have the right septic hookup, I couldn't,
If it's there for the summer, it's not an ADU.
well, alright, so I like a niche, you know, have an Airstream with its own hookup. And wanted to live in it and have someone live on my property, so that would be an accessory dwelling unit. I'm not allowed to do that?
That's what this says.
I don't understand the spirit of that argument.
I think it is character of the neighborhood. So if you lived in a place,
Okay, I understand, but what if I lived on 20 acres? And you couldn't see my either dwelling unit from the road?
so are you suggesting that on lots greater than 20 acres, you could do that?
I'm not suggesting 20 acres. I was just using that as an arbitrary number, but I just find that maybe you're correct. I see. I'm not promoting campgrounds or whatever, but I see over and over again properties that have an extra dwelling unit that is a mobile home or an, you know, an Airstream, and you're telling me that I can't do that on my own property.
What the ordinance is now, people can have a camper or an RV on their property. You can't have people living in it as a
well-
house, more or less, permanent dwelling. I mean, if somebody comes in, and it's a gray area in our ordinance right now. So if somebody comes in, you have a camper, and somebody comes in for the weekend, they're using the camper for typical recreational camper use. That hasn't been an issue, but somebody that all of a sudden moves in and makes that their permanent dwelling, by the ordinance as it's written, that's not allowed. If it's changed, it's changed, but right now, RVs, campers, and mobile homes are not allowed to be used as ADUs.
I think that mobile homes should be considered. And I have other issues with the campers and RVs when we get to that.
Okay, let's do
Warren.
one thing at a time.
But, okay, so I'm just asking about mobile homes, which are already covered in an ordinance that they can't be in the village district. Is that correct? The mobile homes? So those are like some of the smaller lots, and where a lot of people are just driving and you would see it. And we can also say, per the RSA, we can put visual guidelines on it. So we can say you need to hide it, or something along those lines, so it's not evident that you have a mobile home right next to your home as your ADU or
But then
something.
you get into somebody that's upset about being told what they can do in their property, and then I get these arguments, so.
I get that too, but it
Yeah.
says in the it says in the RSA that you can put like I don't really know what you call it, but it's just visual. You can say what it looks like and what it doesn't look like.
Like a blind.
Aesthetics.
Yeah, aesthetics. Yeah, thank you.
Well, mobile homes are considered manufactured housing, so they have HUD, federal guidelines as to codes and stuff they have to go by. They don't go by housing codes necessarily. So
Okay.
there is a definition of a mobile home versus an RV, so there are some differences there. But they're prohibited in the village district and the Idlewise residential district, mobile homes,
Right.
by our ordinance right
Right.
now, so.
By Idlewise, the ordinance and that was written for
Well,
Idlewise.
in the general zoning ordinance, there's an Idlewise residential district. Yeah, there's also a manufactured housing ordinance in our zoning ordinance now that talks about the mobile homes and where they can be used, where they can't.
And that
So
makes
manufactured
sense.
house, I'm sorry, but manufactured housing, mobile homes are considered that. We used to call modular homes, I can't remember what they term them now, they're like prefabricated houses now. They keep changing the term. We used to call them modular homes, so it's a house built in a factory and it's shipped here in two pieces, usually buttoned together, and now you have a house on a foundation typically.
Yeah.
Where a mobile home is a mobile unit, it's on a trailer chassis, on wheels, bring it here, plunk it on your property. 20 years from now, you can hook up and take it again. But it has to meet certain, square footage, I forget what it is off the top of my head, but it's like 9 feet by 40 or something like that. So there are definitions in mobile homes, so. But that's how it is in the ordinance now, it can always be changed.
So, from your, can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
So from your experience, would would the ordinance in place already kind of limit what we can do with mobile homes? So could we add it, could we take off mobile homes from this O in the ordinance and still have the controls in place to restrict mobile homes
Well, I think
popping
we-
up everywhere?
I think we can make the ordinance say whatever we want, or the town can, I mean, we can make recommendations here, the town will ultimately vote in March. So we can propose anything to the town, I imagine. The mobile home part, this, under the ADU ordinance, it just strictly says mobile homes can't be used as ADUs. Mobile homes is mentioned in the manufactured housing, which is a separate ordinance, as well as far as where they can be used in town. But that could be taken out of the accessory dwelling unit ordinance.
So, if I, again, what if, I have a child, needs a place to live, and it's more inexpensive for me to put a mobile home on my property while they're getting on their feet, and I have the room to do it and everything, this ordinance is telling me I can't do that. I would have to
As it's
spend
now.
more money, right, to, you know, instead of having the option where maybe this person can live on the property for a while and then they get up and can move on, and I could hook that thing up to a truck and drive it away.
That, like I said, as it is now, you can't do that if you already have a primary dwelling on the property. If
So you
it's
have to-
taken out, you see, you also have to look at, I guess, make sure it's matching up with the square footage that we just voted in.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying it was all legit, you're talking, but, I just look at the restrictiveness of, I
And
mean,
maybe the age of the unit, because most places don't let you have anything over.
there
20
is
That's-
there is an ordinance in town that restricts the age of the mobile home.
That's the manufactured housing ordinance, 10 years or less.
Yep.
Or younger.
Or anything that's already decrepit, so even if it's not meeting that 10 years, if it's decrepit and somebody calls the police and or calls you, they can't have that anyway.
Yeah,
So that's helping with the character of the town. I think that we may have the other ordinances in place. Otherwise, you would, if you can't use a mobile home as an ADU, you have to go out and buy another piece of property to put your mobile home on for, if you're using Carl's example, for your kid or whatever. I just don't see why that has to be excluded. I see kind of the RV and camper for long-term use, but that's,
The other option too is the ADU is not to do a mobile home, is to actually build a
An
separate
ADU.
building. An ADU. So
Which
another option.
is considerably more expensive.
It could be.
It is. I can tell you it is.
Alright, so I guess the discussion about the mobile home and then how it ties into also the recreational vehicle, I guess I didn't know that you couldn't live in an RV in your yard, like, shame on me, it's like, you know, I find that preposterous, first of all. It's I pay taxes, I bought the land, I worked really hard, I don't know why I couldn't, if my house burned down tomorrow, God forbid, would I have the option to rebuild it or put a mobile home and just live in that for the rest of my life? That's what we're telling people they can't do between the ADU and or the next thing that we're gonna discuss.
They can't do that now,
Right.
in some zones. This
This says all zones. You can't actually have an RV or camper, towable camper. to
Yeah, but
live
if your house burned down and you put your mobile home there, It wouldn't be an ADU, it'd
Right.
be a,
Right,
Be your house, and it's not an RV or a mobile camper, it's a home.
right, so, but if I want to put a camper on my yard and live in it instead of my house, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. I choose not to replace my house because it's so expensive.
if you're in Edelweiss, you can't do that.
Right.
Right.
If
But
you're in the
this is
village
saying
district, you
all-
can't do that, you can't do that now.
It says all recreational vehicles on the next section are not allowed to be lived in year-round.
Right.
Even if you buy land and you say, I'm gonna save up, I'm gonna build my own house, I can't live in my camper till then, and I don't
Let's-
agree, and I
Well,
wanna.
let's start,
Well,
let's stay,
I had somebody contact me about this today, and I just wanted to share with you their story about the,
yeah, we got that.
We got that,
oh, okay,
we already read that.
yep,
Ted?
I just, yes.
Yep.
So,
Um,
so just
but
food
we're,
for
we're
thought.
talking ADUs right now,
Okay.
we're not,
So I think we're
So-
talking to strike mobile homes from O. Is that
I
what
think
we
one
would
of the
do?
things we need to
Yeah.
consider, and this comes not only from an experience here, but, you know, all the law enforcement stuff I've done, is most people, like you say, are gonna do things right. Most people are gonna do things right, they're not gonna abuse the rules. The rules come from the people who have abused it, and it's not just one bad actor now and then, it's usually multiple times, multiple locations, multiple towns, whatever it may be. That's where these things come from. It's not the people who are doing things right and abiding by the rules, it's the ones that abuse it. And no matter what rule you put in place, someone's gonna try to skirt it. That happens all the time. And I've had it all the time in my other law enforcement career. Here's a rule, well, no, what about this, what about that? When you go to court on issues, it's the ands, the ors, the mays, the shalls that rule. Those words are so important in court. And trying to develop some kind of rule or regulation that captures everything is almost impossible. But that's one of the things you have to think about is sometimes these, and I'm not saying about any particular one here, or instance, but when these are created, it's because of experiences that the populace has had, and they voted this way because of whatever experiences they've had, not just one or two bad actors generally. It's just a general comment.
so anyways, we're at O, RVs and campers or mobile homes are not allowed to be used as an ADU.
Can I ask a question? So on letter A, it says 1 ADU is permitted per detached single-family dwelling, provided the lot is an existing legal lot of record, meaning that it conforms to all current, like the 2-acre minimum for the town,
Can I comment on that?
or, yeah.
No, it's a legal lot of record.
So it's it doesn't have to conform to the current, it could be a smaller lot size.
Lots, take for example, most of the lots in Edelweiss, those were created back in sixties, whatever it was.
Yep,
Long before the 2-acre requirement. Those are considered a lot of record, so those are, I get questions all the time, this is a buildable lot.
yeah,
You can build up a tiny lot that's less than 2 acres as long as you meet all the setback requirements and all the other requirements.
okay.
So a lot of record, at least in Madison, is something that either was created today by these standards or was created prior to these standards being in place.
Okay,
So it's a legal lot of record.
thank you. I just wanted to make sure we weren't saying, oh no, it has to be 2 acres minimum. Okay, thank you.
We need 4 or 5 of them in Edelweiss just to get a legal.
If you have an acre in your land area,
Easy. You know what they say, somebody thinks they have a lot in Edelweiss. It's there somewhere. Anyways,
There's some lots up there that have just been created. There's no owners. On the tax maps anyway.
oh,
They're just,
V-
oh, a new lot. Nobody owns it.
Vito,
Yeah.
Vito owns them. So what are we gonna do about this? Oh. Hearing no, motion, I am going to go, that would be it.
Alright, I'll make the motion then. On letter O, can we remove mobile homes?
I'll second that.
So a motion has been made and seconded to, in letter O, remove mobile homes. So it would read RVs, campers,
I'm not
RVs
allowed.
or campers are not allowed for use as ADUs. So that motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? I'm thinking that, cause this is zoning, so this is trying to protect the integrity of neighborhoods. So I guess I wouldn't be in favor of that, but anyways, any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, we will vote. All those in favor of removing mobile homes from O, vote by saying yes.
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 All those in favor of leaving O as it is written, restricting mobile homes, vote by saying no.
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 Passed.
Fail.
Sorry, you know what I meant.
Yes.
You know,
That was just here.
I hit my head.
Okay, we have a new definition for ADUs that I read previously. And I can read it again if you'd like. An ADU is a residential living unit that is located on a lot containing a single-family dwelling that provides independent living facilities for one or more person, including provisions for sleeping, eating, cooking, sanitation on the same parcel of land as the principal dwelling unit it accompanies. Accessory dwelling units may be constructed at the same time as the principal dwelling unit. That's pretty interesting. You could kind of build a duplex almost, but one's got to be smaller than the other one.
And a duplex is if you have a separate hookup for your panel, right?
So warrant article number something is zoning amendment on class 6 roads, one of my favorite topics. Are you in favor of adopting of amendment number 2 as proposed by the planning board for the Madison zoning ordinance as follows? Existing non-conforming uses. Any existing lot of record at the time of passage of the ordinance, March 1987, but not conforming to the present minimum lot size, minimum frontage requirements, or minimum dimensional requirements, shall have the right to continue in their present use indefinitely, as well as being used for any other conforming use for the district which is located, so long as it is sufficient off-street parking for such proposed use is provided within the property boundaries. Undeveloped non-conforming lots may be developed with any use permissible in the zoning district without compliance with minimum lot size, frontage, or dimensional requirements, so long as sufficient off-street parking for any such proposed use is provided within the property boundaries. Provided, however, that lots whose sole frontage is upon a class 6 road or private road not shown on a plan approved by the planning board must first successfully complete the process as set forth in RSA 674:41. No such lot may be permitted to be further subdivided or otherwise made less conforming in nature. This is
It's
from the
1.3.
state RSA.
It's 1.3 that you did,
What?
3 years ago. This is the one we changed 3 years ago. So the only thing she's taking out is the word permit.
But this is what we do already.
That's what you passed.
You passed it 3 years ago.
That's what I lived my life 3 years ago, with 1.3B and all of that. Yeah, yeah.
But But they're taking away the permit process.
Right.
They're taking the actual permitting away, so we're gonna follow the process that's still in the RSA.
Well, it's actually not a permit, it's
R.
signing an affidavit that says, you know, you're on a class 6 road and blah, blah, blah.
We call it a road waiver. It's
Yeah.
just a nickname for it.
Road waiver.
Amend Article 5, other regulations. Minimum frontage, lots located on a class 6 road, lots having at least 200 feet of frontage on a class 6 road may, upon successful completion of the process as set forth in RSA 674-41, be developed with one structure or use. I think there's a word missing.
Maybe develop, maybe?
Huh?
Maybe develop?
Yeah, I think may be developed. With one structure or use, subdivision of lots whose sole access is on frontage of class 6 road shall not be permitted.
The may is before the colon.
Yeah,
So if I were to read that or understand it, then going back to what we just put a lot of time into.
Yeah.
If I build a house on that, on a class 6 road, does that mean I cannot build a separate ADU on that lot? Isn't that what that's saying right now?
Could be interpreted that way.
why don't you just stop asking questions?
Oh, I know, you wanna get out plowing snow again, don't you?
Yes, I got the plow right in the yard.
I,
Can I get
That's
an
a
example
lot.
of
I
class
agree.
6 road, so in my head I know where we're talking about in town? Being a road that's class 6.
class
Like,
6 road, yeah.
The lead mine?
No, that's a class 5 to Summer Cottage.
Amy Kennett, off of Maple Grove.
Oh, I don't even know
It's
where.
Black Brook, is that?
Oh,
Black Brook.
Yeah,
I think that's
class
class
Okay,
six.
no,
We
we're
just
black.
did that, not so long.
I know where it is.
So class 6 roads, I believe state law says the town cannot do maintenance on those roads, period.
For liability.
But somebody wanting to do work on roads has to get the selectmen's blessing, I believe.
That's correct.
So if you owned, you know, God forbid you owned a lot on a class 6 road and you wanted to put a accessory dwelling unit, you can't.
I'm sorry I brought that up.
But
I was thinking it already, I was thankful that you.
Gee, that would affect me if I wanted to put an accessory dwelling on my property.
Well, I just
But
look
if
at
it's
it
a
as anyone, why, I mean, I know it's a class 6 road, but if they, took care of the plowing or took care of the maintenance of the road, and what's keeping you from putting a mobile home behind your house?
What happens
Oh,
if
not
there's
a
an
mobile.
emergency on that property? Are we responsible for bringing emergency vehicles there?
That, so what we call
Yes.
the road waiver, it's
The
not a
waiver,
technical term,
yeah.
but the road waiver, at least the one that we have people sign, has 2 parts. It says, first of all, you recognize you're on a class 6 road, the town's not maintaining it, you're responsible for maintenance. That's the first part. The second part is, you're responsible for maintaining that road in a condition that emergency vehicles can get there. And if you don't maintain it and it causes a delay, the town is not responsible. So that's part of that.
So if somebody's on a class 6 road and somebody in an ADU has a heart attack and we can't get there and they die,
They can't sue the town for it.
they say they can't sue the town.
Anything.
But you could end up in that problem, with
Well,
that
you
problem.
they would have to, the owner of the property would have to sign that road waiver saying that they were responsible for maintaining I think that would be akin to, a landlord keeping, smoke detectors in their property, cause they would have to sign a waiver that said, I'm gonna keep smoke detectors in my property. That's the same as they're saying, I'm gonna keep the
I just
road
think
clear.
the road condition is a little bit more subjective than a smoke detector.
Yeah, in the example you give, I mean, you can sue anybody for anything,
Mhm.
but the intent of that road waiver, as I understand it, is if that happened, the town could go in and say, look, you signed this road waiver acknowledging that you are responsible for maintaining that road, such that emergency response is not going to be delayed because of road conditions.
And you couldn't build unless you had that road waiver, right?
That's correct.
So you would have to have that road waiver in order to have,
They require we have a mortgage.
you would have to have that road waiver to build the initial property.
And that has to, if I remember right, it has to be recorded too, right?
Oh, yeah, private road maintenance agreements recorded at the registry of
That's-
deeds,
yeah.
that's all owners on a class 6 road.
And
So-
that's,
Signed.
So if you like legitimately filled that road waiver out, had a house on a class 6 road with the proper road frontage, you know, who knows how many acres, you're telling that person that they can't put an ADU on their property, but any other place in town they could?
I would have to read that again and digest it.
I may have read it wrong, man, just,
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'm asking, I don't know, I'm
I would say that a good landlord would have the occupant of the ADU also sign that they are acknowledging that they know the risks associated with that. Because some
So-
class 6 roads
No.
are easier to get down than a condo complex, you know what I mean, because it's so tight. You know what I mean, it's easier to get down to Black Brook, for example, than you squeeze a fire truck into the back side of a condo complex that is so tight. So it's like, you know, I don't know where the definitions came from, but the risk is kind of everywhere, not just class 6 roads.
Well, what the intent of this is, so some towns wouldn't let you build on class 6 roads at all.
Oh, okay.
And so the intent of this is to, the state saying, you have to let people build on class 6 roads. Which I live on a class 6 road, I built on a class 6 road, I subdivided on a class 6 road,
I agree with the.
and I think people shouldn't build on class 6 roads, but there you go. That was a long time ago. So that's what the intent of this
We had that
is.
not too long ago,
What,
class 6,
class 6?
yeah, remember the,
Maple Grove,
Danforth?
oh damn.
Danforth, yes,
yeah.
yes,
Seems,
yes,
all the years I've spent on the planning board, we've been talking about
yes,
building on class 6 roads.
yeah, the
But
ZBA,
I just wonder, I mean, what Paul had brought up, like, again, you legitimately have property on a class 6 road, you're allowed to build your house on it.
yeah, but you're essentially subdividing. Yeah, and not in reality, but in practice. I mean, you're creating a whole nother family unit that's gonna live there.
950
But we're letting
square
them do it
feet.
in other districts in town where we have a detached ADU.
So,
But it's saying we can't do it on a class 6 road, I guess that was the point that I was,
yes, and I think you're reading that right, and.
do we want to do that? I mean, we're just making a recommendation here tonight anyway, we're not passing any of this, this all has to be voted on by the town at town meetings, so.
Yeah, but you can see how much public,
Well, hopefully they're gonna read it before they vote, cause I think it's gonna be a ballot vote, isn't it?
The ballot's gonna be very long this year, pages.
What's that?
The ballot's going to be very long this year, pages.
so,
Mike's gonna tell me.
But if it's a lot of record, then they can have one.
I'm looking at it, Mr. Chairman, as like a property rights. You're telling me, again, my 20 acres on it happens to be on a class 6 road, that I maintain, signed the waiver to the town, or, you know, that we can get vehicles in there, that I can't build an ADU for, you know, my parents who wanna retire back there, right? You're telling me that's, or, you know, or a relative, you know, that just wants to live the rest of his or her life out in nature,
Does it
right?
fall into the category of spot zoning if you do deny it? Like, you okay it on the class 5 just outside the class 6 and then?
oh no, that wouldn't be spot zoning.
No.
could we just say one use and remove the one structure? One structure being like, or one use being like, this is a home, I'm also going to build a small garage next to it and a barn. My use is to live here. I will possibly put on an ADU and remove the one structure. Because that's saying what, you can just have your house, you
I-
can't put on a barn, you
Oh
can't
my
put on a
God.
garage.
I don't have it right in front of me, so I'd have to get it and read it some more and digest it, but use is
Yeah, that's
not necessarily limiting number of structures.
Yeah,
it
but
says
if-
with one
if
structure or
If you
use.
had a house and you want to build a garage,
a detached garage,
Yeah.
it's a
Barn.
separate structure then.
If it says one structure, then you wouldn't be able to have it detached, I would think.
Yeah, if it's detached, it's a separate
Attached.
structure.
If
If
you
it's
had
an
an
attached
attached-
garage, it's part of the structure.
Or if you had an attached ADU, that's part of one structure, it might be
Right,
right.
but,
I don't know, I'd have to look at it.
yeah, but you might wanna build a detached.
Right.
I mean, could we not just
Current
take
zoning
out
ordinance reads
one
this.
structure out of that?
That's what it reads. Our current zoning ordinance reads this actual language.
One structure?
Just remove that.
Oh.
are you making a motion?
Yes.
No, I'm asking for an opinion. I need help here.
Or take the time to look at it, because we have to have these in by next week, right?
Next month.
Well, we could have
Oh,
another,
next month.
we could have another public hearing on the cleaned up language. So we could either
Okay.
clean up this language the way we think best, or maybe have Carrie Ann.
Or look at it and talk about it in the next public hearing.
Right, digest it a little bit.
Yeah. I'm
So
sorry.
you need to decide tonight, I checked with Linda.
Nope.
If you want,
So it
was
would,
ticking. You want the
be-
POS to do something other, oh, that was 18, never mind, that's from that, never mind, master plan.
I think Kate is correct. I mean, we can make little changes, but that
So
would,
are we leaving 5.7, are we changing, what are we doing with that? We're leaving the word permit out? We taking it out like she said, or?
it's not, I mean, changing permit to process is right. It's whether we want to,
One structure or one use,
Yeah,
so you tell me.
so if we said,
So really, you're telling someone who, if they have a legal lot, just like anybody else in town,
Yeah, I know, yeah.
you're telling them they are not permitted to build an accessory
That's been in our
dwelling.
zoning ordinance since
that's kind of the way I
2012.
I know, regardless, doesn't make it right.
Or even a barn, it says you can't even build a barn.
Yeah,
Put your horses in or whatever.
so then now we were being more restrictive when we really don't have to be.
how about maybe develop for use consistent with their zone?
Or use what?
Yeah, that's fine.
Consistent.
that's not a bad way to put it.
Yeah.
I like that.
So if you're
Develop for use consistent
With the zone.
with that zone,
with
With the
what's
zone it's
the zone they're in,
consistent with the zone, and just leave it at that?
yeah.
And then take out,
One structure.
One structure
structure or use.
or use.
Mhm.
Okay.
You may wanna just give, I guess, more legal advice, and maybe she just wrote this out, but like I said, in court, or is a big word. It says one structure or
Use.
one use. So, for me, I would rather, what's the legal interpretation of use? Is it residential? Therefore, you can have a house and a garage and an ADU.
And a barn.
That's
and-
one
yeah.
use, versus having a commercial operation there too, that's two uses. Or, could it be interpreted that way? This is what you get into in court, these types of
Yeah.
I
things.
think you bring it up, I think, eliminating one structure and just put use. Maybe more.
I'm not recommending one thing or the other, but.
Or
might be worth
being in the
looking
zone, like Mark said, it kind of covers what you can do there.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a little cottage and you can be an accountant, you could have a little farm, you could have these things in rural residential.
or one use within the zone.
Yeah, like in compliance with the zone or whatever, however you worded it.
Zone, you mean district?
Yeah,
And the district?
District.
Everyone use the same
The
verb.
district, yeah.
So what are we writing now? So be developed within, we changed it a million times here, within one,
Use within the district.
with one use in the district. Okay. Right, change that. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, you might have Carrie Ann look at it to make sure we're not goofing something.
Oh, we, okay.
But the intent is to let any lot on a class 6 road that conforms with 674-41 to have the same rights as any other lot in town. So. Okay, that was the easy stuff.
oh, good.
Are you in favor of the adoption of amendment number 3 as proposed by the planning board for the Madison zoning ordinance as follows? Insert a new article, Article 12, recreational vehicles. A, the following applies to recreational vehicles outside of recreational vehicle parks and campgrounds. One is storage, storing and not occupying an unregistered single recreational vehicle is allowed in any zoning district, however, only on lots where there is an existing permitted principal residential use, or located on a lot that is adjacent or abutting to a lot under the same ownership which has a principal residential use. So that means if you got your recreational vehicle out in your yard, it's okay as long as you don't live in it. Is that correct?
What's that?
Is that correct?
I'm sorry.
That one storage would let you store your RV on your lot without living in it.
Right, for now, as it is now, you can have one of those, yes. You just can't use it as a dwelling, as wording is.
Nicole?
So having had 6 on my lot for 9 years, I see that as kind of, I mean, I kept them indoors, you know, in a hut whenever possible, if I wasn't physically working on them. But I think that's kind of, I don't understand it, I guess, because I don't think anything was detrimental about having 6 recreational vehicles on my lot at any given time for 9 years.
Let's see, but
Are they
Yours is all
unregistered.
registered, this is for unregistered.
Oh, it's unregistered, yes, we were all registered.
Okay, yeah.
So
Different,
you're good.
Yeah,
different
Okay.
scenario.
One unregistered, okay, I'll have to, all
that was
right.
fine, Mark.
We're getting into the vehicles type thing, and we'll get into that too, is the ordinance under the junkyard ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talks about uninspected vehicles.
Yeah, unregistered,
Also talks
unregistered.
about dilapidated equipment,
Yeah, no, they were all,
equipment that doesn't run, things like that, like you were mentioning earlier, Tia. If you've got stuff that's falling apart, it's supposed to go, you're not supposed to have it. But the uninspected thing is gonna be something that goes by the wayside.
Now, did this come from you, or did this come from this?
Was this typed, Kate, this was typed up by the attorney, right?
Yeah.
Your changes.
Yours is the
are-
next
I made some
page.
suggestions. for
Okay.
Yours the next
alterations
page.
to it.
I thought it came from you guys, it says planning board.
No, we had our HIP attorney.
Oh.
I mean, I sent stuff to our attorney, I kind of drafted stuff and then sent it
Okay.
to her, and then she drafted stuff. I kind of
So-
went with what I could.
No, I was given a copy of this and then I made some suggestions.
So the spirit is not to have like a bunch of dilapidated campers on your property that are all unregistered.
Or not used 'cause they're not.
But what caused this to be written?
Yeah, like why are we?
I don't know.
Probably because people are doing this.
Who wrote this?
And Kate, where did this come from?
Carrie Ann, you asked her to do this. She did these for the new laws that have passed.
Okay, this is
So this is-
consistent with,
Yeah.
with the RSA's.
There's an RSA about campers. I'm ready to read that one.
I didn't
Well, I
read
know
that one.
there's rules against
Sorry.
unregistered vehicles on your property, you know, so that's,
State rules?
yep,
Oh.
in some town rules, no? Yeah, some towns where you can't have more than whatever number unregistered vehicles on your property.
Right.
So, question about the mobile home under recreational vehicle definition. It includes a mobile home, so you can't have a mobile home and a camper? Am I understanding that?
You jump it down the bottom?
She did.
Yes,
Why-
but
why
I'm,
can we continue
I
on
think
Just
it's
go
this?
down
definition
to-
now, isn't it?
but I wanna,
Yes.
before I make any decision on this, I wanna understand what we're considering a recreational vehicle, so you're saying you can. I just wanna know exactly what we're talking about before making it.
Oh, I see. Why is a motor or a
Saying that I can't live in
who's
my
driving
mobile
around
home.
in a mobile home?
This is a motor home, not a mobile.
It says mobile home as the first one. It includes but is not limited to a mobile home, trailer, camper, and motor home. I wouldn't consider a mobile home a recreational vehicle. But if we could take that out, I don't think it's fair to say if you have a mobile home, you can't also have a camper.
Oh, I had a comment, do you have the sheet with the suggestions or anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Like,
page
what?
2 of that,
Can't you have a camper?
I made a comment about the definition. So,
Which item, Bob?
Which item?
It's the recreational vehicle definition that he is mentioning on the second page of my suggestions on the top.
I only have page 1.
Should be on the back side.
Nope.
No.
Section 4A, A4, article, oh no, wait.
I have this page and this.
We only have a single page.
Yeah, I put mine, I highlighted it,
Oh.
so mine had, it was 2 pages of just pockets labeled suggestions from me,
Right.
and then they went on to the back side of that page. So, that's not
Here's
good.
mine. Here. Oh.
You have that?
I have it in my email.
Well, as far as on that definition, I made a couple of suggestions, or a couple of comments anyways. So the first was add quote, no more than 10 years old between vehicle and that. So the first line, recreational vehicle, a vehicle no more than 10 years old that is designed, blah, blah, blah. That matches up with the manufactured housing ordinance we already have that talks about mobile homes 10 years or less. It's just trying to be consistent, so that everything kind of matches.
Probably shouldn't
Well,
ask this
can I
question,
peek at
but
it?
my recreational vehicle is more than 10 years old.
Right.
It's inspected, it's driven, it's registered, it gets used a lot.
Yep.
Is this gonna prohibit me from having it in my yard?
You're not living in it, right?
No.
But
But this isn't even
But
about
it-
living
yeah.
in
No,
it.
this
This
just.
is
got-
right.
it's saying you can't have a RV that's 10 years old. There's,
Like,
The only reason that's there is to go along, if we're gonna keep mobile homes in it. So if we're taking mobile homes out of it, then this wouldn't have to be in there. It's just to try to be consistent throughout our whole zoning ordinance. If we're talking about mobile homes no more than 10 years old in one place, it ought to be the same thing in other places.
yeah.
not trying to be more restrictive, just trying to be consistent. But we
Right,
don't-
and an RV and a mobile home are two different
Right,
entities altogether.
right. So it doesn't have to go in there, like I said, these are just suggestions. The other part, the other comment I made on there was mobile homes are considered manufactured housing, not RVs under New Hampshire state law. So what you were mentioning to you, the mobile homes are in there. Mobile homes are not technically a recreational vehicle in the state definition.
Do you have this? Page 2 of that.
Yeah, I would like it better if it
So
didn't
would
have
we
that
just
in there.
strike mobile home out of that definition? Vehicle is designed, self-propelled, yeah, mobile home sounds.
So you guys jumped to the definition, but you go through A
We're not-
through 5?
Not sure, because we wanna know what we're
Right.
talking about first.
The definition too, also, because of going back to, in the middle of those 1 through 5, says temporary living, and I still don't understand why it's not somebody's right to live in a mobile home on their own land. It doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know if temporary. Living quarters should be in there.
Right, if, and I understand an argument like trying to keep, you know, the town a certain way, but if I had, the town is very rural, if I have 20 acres and I don't feel like building a house, but I have the proper septic and I have a nice RV, and I wanna live on my property, in my RV for 8-10 months out of the year, or this is saying I can't do that.
Or as an example, I don't know if you remember when you go up Pound Road on the left-hand side, the poor folks that lost their home to a house fire completely. And the lot has not been sold that I know of, but if they decided they missed their home but don't wanna rebuild, cause it's it's expensive, and they have a septic and well from their home, and they just parked, whose feelings get hurt over that? It's just that's what they choose to live in, it's none of our business. I don't understand it at all. Like, I know that I might be in that position, God forbid that happened to me, why would I have to be forced to rebuild, to live in my land that I own?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, a dwelling unit has a certain square footage requirement right now in our code. Am I right, Bob?
Well, by codes, you have minimum standards, room sizes, things like that, so
Yeah.
regular structures. I
Right.
Don't know that that applies to recreational vehicles.
Or what about tiny houses that
Kind
are
of.
on wheels?
Well, I was just gonna say, so we had, way back when I first started, the tiny home thing was coming up. And, you know, I'd have a tiny home and people would expect that I was gonna go in and say, well, an egress window for a tiny home can be smaller. No, it can't. So, you know, I'd have conversations with people, and say, look, the code requirements are the code requirements. They don't have mansion code requirements and tiny house requirements are the same. So an egress window in a bedroom has to meet certain size, whether you have a small little building to put it in or a mansion. They had a tiny home manufacturer come to a building officials meeting down in Concord, because we were all facing the same thing. And the tiny home person came in and said, well, if it's left on wheels, it's considered a recreational vehicle. If you put it on a foundation, it's a house and has to meet all the standard house codes or building codes. So there was a difference as far as tiny homes that way. You keep it on wheels, it's mobile, you hook up to it at any time and pull it away. That was gonna be considered a recreational vehicle versus on a foundation, it's a regular house.
Like, I know there's one in Albany, you know what I mean, that you can clearly just hook your truck up to and drive it away up on whatever that road is that goes off 16, that's a loop. And I just don't understand why, I'm surprised, I should say, living in this town as long as I have, that I did not know that if I wanted to, I could just put some heat in my camper. I worked all winter in a camper, and it was perfectly comfortable. You know, in 2021, all winter I was out there at the ski mountain in a camper, and I could have just went to sleep right in the bed, you know, and I would have no problem living like that, and I wouldn't want the government telling me I couldn't.
So, where are we stuck?
I think I would make a motion to strike mobile home out of the recreational vehicle
The
definition
mobile
to
home.
begin with. Mobile home, not motor.
We're not down there yet, though, we're still up above here, right?
Yeah, I mean, but back when Tia was explaining one definition, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 might have something to do with this definition if we don't change it. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, well, mobile home sits on a foundation.
Or it just has a skirting with wheels.
Huh?
They have like the skirting around it, it's still on.
But
As Bob just
isn't
said, it
that
doesn't.
isn't
It
that a
just
trailer?
Sits on wheels.
Well, if
Well,
it's-
the trailer,
it's on a
he-
foundation,
A
it's not
mobile
mobile.
home is manufactured housing, there's federal definitions for that, so a mobile home and a tiny home are not the same thing.
and
Is
then
a
you have
mobile
trailer.
home and a travel trailer the same thing?
No.
A recreational trailer is a,
So
Which is
what
a big
makes
thing
a
of construction.
mobile home?
I don't have the definition in front of me, but the state does have a definition for mobile home. It says what the dimensions are, I can't remember, I think it's like 9 feet wide by, I can't remember if it's 40 feet.
Yeah, anybody got their RSAs?
no, but
Yeah.
you added the recreational campgrounds and camping parks, the definition of a recreational vehicle. Motorhome or van,
Yeah, there we go.
pickup camper.
Look up
recreational
RSA 674-31.
670, yeah, that's the RSA,
Huh?
that is it, right, yes.
Yep.
In what,
And
that's
a
the def,
transportable dwelling unit built on a permanent chassis, at least 8
Transportable.
body feet wide and 40 body feet long, or 320 square feet when erected, designed for year-round living with utilities and not a camper RV.
so does it have wheels?
Chassis.
Yeah.
So,
Chassis wheels.
based on that definition, it shouldn't belong in this recreational vehicle definition.
That's the comment I made, is they're not considered RVs.
Yeah.
Mobile homes are not considered RVs, motor homes are.
Motorhomes are,
Right.
trailers are. So maybe that is the key to the problem, is cross off mobile home.
I think that's what you were recommending.
I made a motion to strike mobile home from that definition.
Because a mobile home really isn't mobile.
It is with a tractor trailer.
You can.
It is maybe a couple times in its life, but
Yeah.
not normally.
It's not like it goes to Florida every other.
But it sits on a foundation.
Mobile homes, typically, you can put them on a foundation.
You block 'em up
typically on a
usually.
pad,
Yeah,
typically on a concrete pad.
Kinda like lamp-lighters.
And they're
Exactly.
hooked, they're hooked to the pad to prevent wind, overthrow and all that stuff. They have to
The
be
new
nice.
one across from the transfer station, that's a mobile home, isn't it?
No, that's,
But it was put there in a trailer.
three.
It's still sitting.
Yeah, they come that
Oh,
way.
okay,
It's a
so they
modular.
pull that trailer out from underneath it. and-
Yeah, they
Yes.
brought it, they bring it in on a trailer.
Yeah.
And they set them and hook them all together, and the trailer leaves, and it's a house on a foundation.
So a mobile home is
Slab.
not a recreational vehicle.
Right.
So we should remove it from the definition of recreational vehicle.
Right,
I think so.
can we vote on it?
I'll second it.
Let's do it.
Okay, motion is made and seconded to remove from our definition of recreational vehicles, mobile home. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We got over that one. Now we can go back up to storage.
So the definition of recreational vehicle is on that back page too. I think you guys have it. It talks about motorhomes and trailers and
Yes,
pickup campers.
yeah, right here,
So-
yeah. But it doesn't, it refers to the 674-31, but doesn't tell us what it is. But we got over that one.
Yeah.
So storage and not occupying an unregistered single recreational vehicle is allowed in any zone,
Give
district.
that back to Kate.
I got a double spec.
Can I hold it for you?
Yeah,
Awesome,
I have
thank you.
double spec.
So storage and not occupying an unregistered single recreational vehicle is allowed in any zoning district. However, only lots where there is an existing permitted principal use or located on a lot which is adjacent to or abutting to a lot under the same ownership. So if you got your unregistered recreational vehicle, you can have one in your yard. Accessory use, occupation of a recreational vehicle as an accessory to the principal dwelling unit is limited to a duration of 30 days, which within a calendar year, recreational vehicles which are accessory to a principal dwelling unit shall maintain current recreational vehicles. So if you got your RV out in the yard, gotta be registered and you can only live in it for 30 days a year. Just waiting for someone to holler.
How would you
Otherwise-
enforce,
Otherwise, I'm gonna go to the next one.
enforce, I mean, how's that enforceable? When does that clock start?
The only way that I would be able to enforce a 30-day limit like that is by either observing it myself, which I'm not gonna be there every day to check.
Or the neighbor
or
complaints.
witnesses. So
That's-
if I get a complaint, hey, these people have been here all summer, you know, they've been here well over the 30 days, I may not have witnessed it. If I get a complaint and say, okay, I need a statement from you, and I need you to testify for me, worst case scenario, if something goes to court, you're gonna be the witness saying that they were there over 30 days in violation of this ordinance. Because I'm not going to, I don't have time to go driving past the same house every day and say, okay, that person's there again today.
So-
Check it off.
And what if it's, again, on someone's property who you can't see, you know, the back of the property from the road? And there's, you know, so it's unenforceable.
It would be unenforceable for me unless somebody would.
Somebody
they
snitches.
could testify that.
Much of zoning, yes.
Yeah.
I would also say unenforceable that all they would have to do is say they left for one day and the clock starts over.
I
No,
think
it's-
these are just
A
a place to
calendar
protect
year.
us. Is
30
that-
days within a calendar year, so somebody would have to say.
Yeah.
They could leave for 6 months and come back,
Right.
it'd be 30 days total for the year, sorry, Donna.
No, but mostly, this is just to protect us from something that goes really awry, correct? So it's not like you're gonna be driving around counting how many days, but if somebody starts abusing it, then you have a backup plan. That's all this is for.
That's all these.
We don't have to
most of these
change
things are for.
everything.
Right.
Uh,
Like I said earlier, it's, most people are going to do things right.
right,
Most people are, and even if they do something, they make a mistake and you bring it to their attention, they're gonna correct it. Most people will. It's the people who abuse it that cause the problems and cause these things to be written. I've heard of horror stories that, you know, in other towns, that people say, oh, I'm gonna move a camper in because I wanna build a house. And years later, the
Mhm.
camper's still there, they never made any attempt at building a house. They abused the good graces of the town, and now they're still there. So, I don't know if they created some kind of ordinance to prohibit that now, but they probably did.
Well,
Like this, so what if again, I have a relative wanting to come and enjoy the beauty of the White Mountains for the summer. And they wanna live in my RV, in my yard. You're telling me I can't allow that person to live there for the summer?
I'm not. If
No,
this-
I mean,
if
not
this
you,
goes in,
I didn't mean you, but I mean this.
Right, if that was.
To me, that seems a little
Amend the
restrictive.
number.
Well, I think it says you can if it's registered.
no.
No,
You're limited at 30 days.
30 days.
30 days.
But then you're dealing with a situation which Bob and I had dealt with not too long ago, where a person is living in a camper, and guess what? We're paying for it.
Yep.
Because they can't afford to live, they can't live in there, because it was over the it was.
So what if it,
I know, so they
what if
kicked
it
them out in the
wasn't,
winter, right? So they made that person move out of the camper in the
so
winter.
what if, wait, what if it didn't
They
say
did.
30 days
For
and they
winter.
stayed? What's-
Well,
whose
now they're
feelings
living
got hurt about
outside
that?
somewhere.
No, they're not living outside, but.
No, but what if it didn't say 30 days, since you brought up a specific case, and they were just there, whose feelings are hurt over that? Like, what's wrong with that? Why can't that?
Well, then it
person-
becomes an accessory dwelling unit.
And who, again, what's the
Well,
problem with that?
The situation in this
Umbrella.
particular case is you have two neighbors who are very concerned about their security because of the folks that are coming in and out. They're also very concerned about the road that they're on getting torn up by these people who do not help to maintain that road.
So the issue isn't that they live there, it's the issue that they're maybe, not an upstanding citizen or
Yeah, but-
consort with them.
It's like a couple different
But we
problems.
put these in place to protect us against stuff like that. It doesn't mean that so if your grandmother's gonna come and stay for 90 days, probably nobody's ever gonna say anything. But if you have somebody next to you that is dealing fentanyl out of a camper,
Right.
you
Well-
wanna have some way to go after that.
So are you recommending that people just circumvent the law? Saying, well, they probably could just live there for 90 days and
Yeah.
it's okay, right?
No,
So but that's what you just said.
no,
I would think that the fentanyl would be the issue, that you should go after them for that, not for
Yeah,
where
it's
they're
at the
living.
90 days,
I'm just
right?
saying.
Okay.
Only
Good,
on
good.
90 days.
Or,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
or
yeah.
the 30
Let's-
days. Let's,
So,
I mean,
so,
we are putting
so-
a number
so
of,
so, do I hear a motion for accessory use?
For what?
God,
For what?
Well, are we gonna accept accessory use as written, or are we gonna eliminate
If
it?
you are, you just move on to the next one.
Or
You
are we
don't have to
gonna?
vote on it, right?
Hmm?
You're not voting on every single one.
No, but if, we wanna make sure everybody's happy enough, or any,
I'm not cool with 30 days.
I say we
Then-
leave it.
then make a motion and see if.
I'll make a motion, well, geez, yeah.
Seasonal?
You know, well, this is what we talked about last meeting too, and again, we were
Yeah.
told to bring it up at this meeting, so I'm gonna bring it up. I think 30 days is limiting it. Again,
Then
I've had a
ju-
relative come and stay.
Then make it,
I'll make a motion to change that 30 days to 90 days.
okay.
Right, that's about the summer.
A motion's been made to change under accessory use the 30 days to 90 days. Motion's been made, do I hear a second?
Second.
So motion's been made and seconded to change the accessory use, time limitation to 90 days. Any further discussion?
I do have some further discussion. It's kind of concerning when we talk about, you know, we're essentially making the rules here or suggesting the rules, and when someone brings up like, well, most people will just, you know, do the right thing and not follow the rules, but we're making the rules to catch the bat. It doesn't make sense to me. You make a rule so you could stick to it, and let's think about the consequences again of this rule. You're telling someone they can't have someone live in a camper on your own property for more than 30 days?
could we make it more of a permitting process if they wanted to do it for more than 30 days?
I don't think,
I
so.
think
How
we've
is
got
that
one
gonna be
on.
enforceable?
I think you've
How would
already
that
got
be
a permitting
enforceable?
process in place,
Only,
and I think
only
if you,
because of.
if you get a zoning, fine on it, or, you know, you get, then what you do is you go to the zoning board of appeal and ask them for,
Extension?
yeah,
Okay.
An exemption for it. But
Yeah.
isn't this saying
Okay.
though,
that's, you know,
recreational vehicles which are accessory to principal dwelling units shall maintain current vehicle registration? Isn't that a separate sentence from what they're talking about up above, the 30
Yeah.
days?
yeah.
Yeah.
No. It means that if you park your registered RV out in your yard and your kid comes home from college, you can only stay there for 30 days.
And it has to be registered.
That's
But
ridiculous.
it's not saying that. The second sentence is saying recreational vehicles which are accessory to a principal dwelling unit.
Shall maintain a current resident.
You know, that's saying something different than the sentence up above which says 30 days.
Well, I think
So-
it's saying 30 days, but, and also has to be registered. Am I right, wrong?
Mhm.
That's how
I
I'm.
don't read that into it. I think it's two separate thoughts here. One is for 30 days, and then another one is if it's accessory to the principal residence.
Well, I mean, inherently, it's accessory to the principal unless there's no house.
But it
Right?
has to be
If there's
registered.
a house, and then your RV is gonna be the accessory to the,
It says here, vehicle as accessory to a principal dwelling unit.
so there has to be a dwelling unit.
Yeah.
For that one. So, you read the letter from Mr. Krupman, and I also know of a family that was stayed in a camper on somebody's land, and for almost 2 years, and what happened as a result of that, they saved a bunch of money and they bought a house in Madison. So now we have a young family in Madison with 3 new kids. And I feel like it is allowing this, it gives people a leg up. It literally, I mean, this is what we're here to do, is to, do you want, I mean, Madison's just moving into an aged population. We need young working people to be able to pay the taxes and, I mean, to be able to, you know, fill the jobs, for crying out loud. And, you know, it's just it's a tool that somebody can use when there's no affordable housing for them to be able to, I mean, it's mutually beneficial. If I say to somebody, you can park on my land and live in your camper and pay me rent for a year, and I have a lease, who's to say no, as long as I'm meeting my sanitation guidelines or whatever? And that I mean, it's giving people a leg up. Really, or conversely, if I wanna live in my camper, or I wanna, you know, have a friend park for as long as they want,
But they were just talking about how that can be problematic.
it can be problematic, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to do it.
So how do you,
My neighbors wouldn't have a problem with it,
so,
so,
Well, the problem from the enforcement standpoint of having rules is, as I've said before, you've got folks like you're talking about, you're doing it right.
yeah.
It's the way it should be, and you've got great intentions. You have the abusers out there that take advantage of that. And having a set of rules that says, oh, okay, you guys are doing it this way, that's okay, but then these people are gonna say, well, why can't I? And they have bad intentions, they have no intention of doing the good things that you're talking about. That's where these things come from, is you tend to see more of the abuse than the proper use of it. So these things come up because, you know, they see all the
I see that, but I'm just speaking as a former educator, I'm not keeping the whole class in for recess
Right.
because one kid is mouthing off. And that's what I think we're doing here.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but it is.
We're punishing everybody for that person that may have bad intentions. But as you just stated, most people don't. So if most people don't, then why are we punishing, making this almost punitive? How dare you let someone come on your property for 31 days and live in an RV? Come on.
so.
Well, I think that your analogy to your comparison doesn't go quite right. Because the kid that's mouthing off to you in school, you've got a method, a way, and rules to punish that, take care of it, without punishing the whole class. Without something written down here, we've got no way to deal with the guy that's doing it wrong.
I agree. Totally respect what you said. That's why I didn't try to strike this. I simply tried to add the number of days to 90 days. I just think 30 days is,
Okay,
I would think 90
Make a
days
motion
is
for 90
punitive.
days.
So,
I did,
so,
We did,
and
but
Tia seconded it.
Okay,
But-
are we discussing it? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
And
we're
this was a
discussing.
discussion.
and
Mark?
are we
And-
ready to vote for this one?
Yes.
No,
I think-
Tia
No,
wants to say.
because
I think
Mr.
letting
Boyd-
somebody stay there for the summer is like a reasonable thing.
Absolutely.
What were you gonna read, Tia?
I was going back to what you had written, Mr. Boyd had written, and, it was about the intent, is it so that they're not living in it, or if it has to do with it being on the same lot. Right?
On,
Which one?
On the same lot as a, principal dwelling unit. And you're asking, is the intent so that people
Oh,
aren't camping on lots that they haven't built on?
Oh, my comments, you mean,
Yeah.
under storage, for the storage part?
Oh wait, was that under storage? I'm sorry. I thought it was under,
Where are you?
we skipped over your storage.
Yeah. You kinda
Which-
went to the bottom of the page and back up again.
Sorry, but that's, we're saying that here too, that it has to be permitted and used on a lot that has a principal dwelling unit.
And my point with that comment was, you're talking about use versus the lot itself, I think. Let's see, for under storage. The wording in that allows for storage of an RV on a vacant lot as long as principal residential use is allowed. So you might have a lot that doesn't have anything on it, but it's in the rural residential district. So the use of a house on it is allowed, but maybe there isn't one yet. So I guess what he's getting at, is this a use, or does it have to have the structure there, sleep pressure use?
Does the dwelling have
Is-
to be there?
Is the intent to allow RVs only on properties that already have primary dwelling units on them? Or is it to allow RVs on properties that allow primary dwelling units as a use to be on it?
I'm sorry, I switched back to that. I thought that it was under the second one.
Yeah, 'cause
But-
the way it's worded, this is,
Did I?
yeah, where on lots, only on lots where there is an existing permitted principal residential use or located on a lot that is adjacent or abutting to a lot under the same ownership. So that gets into that use, or does it have to have a structure there? But it was just a comment I made, it's kind of a fine point, doesn't really make a big deal of it.
Okay.
The other thing is, in that too, is it says that, or you can have it on an adjacent lot as long as it's owned by the same person. So you put it over there, and now they sell the lot. So they would have to yank it off of there because it's not owned by the same person anymore.
Well, I think one of them is an accessory use
Yeah.
and one is the next one, which is a vacant lot, right? Which is number two, the difference between number two and number three.
Accessory, yeah, storage, yeah, kind of storage versus accessory use.
So I made a motion to move that from 30 days to 90 days for accessory
yes,
use.
yes. And we've discussed it thoroughly. So we will vote on changing under accessory use a duration of 90 and not of 30. So if you vote yes, you want 90 days, and if you vote no, 30 days is enough. All those in favor, vote by saying yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Opposed?
Ready?
No,
Joe was no,
It seems like the
one no.
ayes have it. I didn't vote at all. Tell that to Carrie Ann. Number 3 is temporary use on a vacant lot unless otherwise prohibited or restricted by this ordinance or state law. No more than one recreational vehicle may be temporarily occupied on a vacant lot between April 15th and December 1st for a duration of 30 days within a calendar year for recreational purposes. Occupancy of limited to the property owner's family, owner's friends. Recreational vehicles shall maintain current registration and shall not be permanently attached to utilities.
Mr. Chairman,
I have no idea what this is.
I guess this goes back to why it's called temporary use, it should just, in my opinion, be just use. Like I go back to the couple that lost their home on Pound Road, if they wanna back something in and live back on their beautiful piece of property, it has electric, it has a well, it has septic, whose feelings get hurt? I just don't understand why we would ever restrict somebody from access to their own land. They're still paying property taxes,
We don't want campgrounds.
but
Mark-
as a person that worked in campgrounds for 9 years, one unit does not a campground make.
Yes.
You know, it's their choice of housing is basically what it is. It's what they choose to live in.
And
if
if
it
I may,
happened to me,
Mr.
I would want that choice.
Chairman, to put another, duration of 30 days, and then it can only be between April 15th and December 1st? That just seems arbitrary.
Again, this is zoning, and it's to make, neighborhoods consistent. You're giving up some of your property rights to gain some of your neighbor's property rights. 30 days sound like a weird number if you're gonna let them stay there from April to December.
Exactly, I mean, just up to 90 days,
Or you could eliminate temporary use of a vacant lot entirely.
I would make a motion to eliminate temporary use on a
For-
vacant lot.
Number 3,
Absolutely. Again, I would make a motion to eliminate number 3.
not scratch, sorry. I don't like
Yeah,
that word.
scratch is fine, yeah. As long as someone's gonna be like, I'll second that.
It's entirety.
I mean, who's gonna
The neighbor
who's
is
gonna
going-
police this?
The neighbor is who enforces zoning.
Sorry, with all due respect, Kyle,
Yeah,
I think our responsibility here is to try and come up with ordinances and zoning that is reasonable and I love the word you used, protective of our community.
health, safety, and
I'm
well-being
not worried,
of the
I'm not
community,
worried
that's
about
our
who's gonna
charge.
enforce it, okay?
Mhm.
We're not here to enforce it, we're here to, I believe, that our purpose is really to protect the integrity of our town and its future. And this is what this is trying to do, okay? I'm sorry, I can sit here and say, oh, I got a vacant lot, and my brother's got this really old car, it doesn't really work all that great, but hey, go ahead and park it there. And geez, I could sell some extra parts, and I know some people have some junk cars. I think I could put 4 or 5 of them in there, it's a vacant lot, nobody gives a damn anyways, right? So, before you know it, I got 15 vehicles in my yard, and I'm selling parts online and stuff, and what the hell?
Unregistered
Yeah.
vehicles,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Right, so that goes against the town ordinance anyway, you're not allowed to have that many unregistered vehicles on your
Yeah, but it's in
property.
a vacant lot, nobody really cares.
Yeah, we're not gonna speak to that, we're talking like absolutes here.
Well,
The
I
registration
don't-
under the current ordinance, registration's not, it's uninspected.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Alright,
The charge of this board is the health, safety, and well-being of the community, correct?
yes,
Right?
in
So-
part, but
So I appreciate what you say, and I do understand, and I would hate to have a junkyard next to my house, if it was against the zoning, against zoning regulations. But I'm looking at the temporary use of a vacant lot here, so I have I've used 20 a number of times, I have a 2-acre lot. You're telling me I can't park a camper on that for more than 30 days, and I can only do it between April and December? So
Yeah,
I can't
think
do
that
it
that's
December, January, February, March, like, where does that come from?
Okay, so some lawyer, I think.
Came from
I
the
don't
attorney.
No, and I think it comes from past experience of abuse and I'll tell you, if I was gonna buy a piece of land and I checked out what was the ordinance of the town, I wouldn't buy land in Madison, because I don't want this to happen. Say I'm a snob, I don't care, but there's certain way I wanna live, and I don't wanna be worried that somebody's gonna put a trailer next to me
And
without
the trailer is my
good.
dream house.
I mean,
I know that's your dream house, but there may be a town that really is fine with that. But maybe
I
this
get
town isn't fine with that, and I think we have to ask the whole town. And I don't feel comfortable making a decision like this for the whole town.
Well, the whole town
Yeah,
will.
well,
Well, you're not,
So you
the whole town
Okay.
is going to
We're
make the
making
decision.
recommendations.
That's what we're doing here.
So
What-
is
what-
number, oh, go ahead.
What we do at this board is we form proposed rules that we wanna do, and then the town looks at it and goes on what we propose.
Yeah.
They're not seeing all this, and it's their fault because they didn't come to this meeting.
They were invited.
Exactly, which irritates me,
Oh,
because people in town, they'll come to the town meeting, they'll gripe and groan, and we'll spend hours fighting over something that they could have come and resolved at these hearings, which is terrible, but.
So this is
We,
to,
we just voted on number 2 to increase that from 30 days to 90 days. The number 3 is very similar. So you're saying I have a vacant lot and I can't come up with my own camper on my lot and spend the summer living in my camper on my piece of property. That's what this is saying.
Suggestion I would make, if we were gonna open it up so that you can do that, I think part of the issue is, like Donna was, I think you're getting to, Donna, is the condition of things, and how the town's looking, and how the town in general has voted, and how the town wants their community to be. And somewhere in the, whether it's in zoning or somewhere else, it talks about the mission of the town, where maintain rural residential.
Rural character.
Whatever it is, rural character. Anyway, if you say, okay, you should be able to bring a camper in and live here, you can't tell me what to do with my property, okay? What if they bring some junky Bud camper in here that's in terrible condition, it's livable, maybe it's not bad enough that under the junkyard rule, you have to say, hey, get that out of here. But they bring in some more or less dilapidated type of camper in, and they're not following the things that you guys are talking about, which is the right things. They're coming in to take advantage of a situation, and then the next vacant lot, the next person says the same thing, and so on down.
Well, maybe
Throughout town.
Tia has suggested that there's some aesthetic things that you can put in place so that other people don't have to look at it. I wouldn't
It's
wanna make that
possible.
choice for somebody,
But
that's
then you're
none
telling
of my
somebody
business.
that owns property, how can you tell me what I have to do with it?
But you're also telling
Give them a
everyone
telling
the
them
bad
to jump.
seeds are making the rules.
No, what happens, again, going back in all my stuff, things I've done in the past, the bad seeds are what create these rules, unfortunately. It's that 10% or less that create all these regulations that the rest of us have to suffer with. It's because of the abuses of some. It's usually a small amount. And I agree with you, Carl, why should everybody have to suffer? Because the ones who've abused it have created so much of a problem that we suffer with that as well. So then there's proposals of rules, and we have to live with those.
Again, I don't know how this is enforceable either. When
We
your
already
clock
have
starts
a
running,
no,
So-
we already have a no campground.
Huh?
Paul, don't we already have a no campground ordinance? No,
Yeah, but this isn't a campground.
this is preventing a campground.
Good.
last
Yeah,
meeting.
you can't have more than one recreational vehicle temporarily occupied between April and December for more than 30 days. You can only have one
Right,
for the 30 days during that, so you can't have more than one. You can't have a campground.
right.
So don't we already have an ordinance that says you can't have
I think this addresses maybe the person that buys a lot on some back road and it's their piece of heaven and they wanna come up with their camper for the summer.
Yeah.
And park it there, and this just makes it so if you wanna use your temporary, you wanna use your little piece of heaven, you can use it between April 15th and December 1st for a number of days.
30 days.
Well, that's what this says. You know, we can change that, or we can say that you should be able to come up and park a camper there and make it a campground.
That's, no, nothing to do with the campground.
Well, I mean, it
Well,
would
if
be your own, single lot campground. And if you had the average house in Madison that's cost probably $600,000 now, and you had, that was your neighbor, you might not be all that happy with your, even your Airstream next door. So this sort of regulates the ability for the neighborhood to say, you know, just the run-of-the-mill houses now are $600,000 houses. Madison.
Why,
Make it right.
why not consider scratching, I mean, whatever number of days you choose, 30, 90, 180, whatever, right, consecutive? Because that's really limiting, if it's for the whole year, it can only, you know what I mean? Just say consecutive days.
Yeah, but if you only had weekends off, you come up and stay for a weekend. So you
Well-
probably wouldn't even stay 30 days.
But what if you leave, then you can start your calendar over, say you came all of June and July, you leave for August, you come back September and October.
For a duration of 30 days within a calendar year.
I would say change that number.
How will-
I would say consecutive.
How will that be policed? How will that be enforced? There's no way.
The neighbors do it. The neighbors enforce all the zoning.
If you put consecutive in there, Nicole, then if they do leave for that one day, then the 90 days or 30 days, whatever, starts all over again.
That's the point, to
Next.
make it less restrictive, so that
Right.
people can use it for the 90 days, and then if they wanna come back for another month or weekend, like Mark suggested, they are allowed to, because they can get those extra days in.
What are you
90
calling,
days
what are you
over.
calling consecutive though? Is that just the number of days you're staying in the unit, but the unit stays there? You leave the unit there and don't take it out, or do you have to pull the unit out?
Yeah.
You know, it's,
I think this anticipates you parking your camper on your little piece of heaven and coming up for the summer, weekends for the summer. And you can do that.
But if you're retired and you don't work, and you wanna be here all the time for the whole summer, May through.
You have a good job, plenty of good jobs.
For those who you adjust that number again like you did in the last one.
Yeah,
I don't know, I think we have to start making decisions on this stuff.
I made a motion earlier to strike this entirely.
Okay, a motion been made to strike number 3 entirely. Do I hear a second?
Darn.
Hearing no
I
second.
have it with this.
Any other motions, or are we going to accept number 3 as written?
I have a motion. I'd like to change it from 1 to 3,
One, three,
recreational.
one vehicle, one recreation vehicle to 3?
Yeah,
To 3?
yes,
That's
in case you have
campground.
friends
if you have
Campground.
friends.
on your vacant lot.
Or if you have a trailer with your boat, if you have a trailer, camper, motorhome, that's a recreational vehicle. So you might have other things that come with you, and I don't
Okay.
think that restricting it to 1 is enough. I don't think that it needs to be between April 15th and December 1st, I don't think that needs to be in there at all.
Okay,
And then I'd change it to 90 days, because 90 days was what we.
so do you want to make number 3 so no more than 3 recreational vehicles,
slippery slope.
for 90 days, or
Yes.
for 90 days?
Duration of 90 days.
And within those calendar years? In that calendar, that April 15th to December 1st,
Sure,
summer use?
yes.
Okay. So a motion's been made to,
You wanna keep that?
on number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wanted to remove April 15th in December for the calendar year. So just take out the dates.
Okay,
So the
So you could
definite-
bring your snowmobile.
Yeah,
is what
do
you're
whatever
thinking,
you
bring a
want.
snowmobile
I
trailer
don't,
and your trailer.
care.
So a motion been made for temporary use on a vacant land unless otherwise prohibited or is restricted by this ordinance or state law. No more than 3 recreational vehicles may be temporarily occupied on a vacant lot. Well, you'd have to cross out temporarily occupied. Between April,
No.
yeah,
no.
Strike it.
never mind.
On a vacant lot and then strike.
Recreation, no more than 3 recreation may be, whatever we're gonna say.
We're keeping it be temporarily occupied on a vacant,
You can't temporarily occupy for a
what are we
year.
taking out?
And you can't temporarily occupy a trail, you know, these are, they're talking about occupying things like living.
We're talking about recreational vehicle with a definition in here that talks about one that you live in.
Yeah,
Comparing it to a boat in your yard, comparing it to your
It's not a
snowmobile in your yard,
recreational
is
vehicle.
nowhere near, that's not apples to apples.
yeah,
That's just the definition that we're using. It says trailer, camper, and motorhome, so it uses trailer. What does that mean?
Read about that, what is defining something designed to be living quarters, which is not a boat trailer.
Temporary
It's a
living
single,
quarters
it's a
for
portable
rent.
structure
Okay.
built on a single chassis, 400 square feet or less when measured. Calculated by taking measurements of the exterior of the recreational trailer. Not for use as a permanent dwelling, but temporary dwelling for recreation, camping, traveling, or seasonal use. And then there's.
So again, it's not a boat trailer, it's not a snowmobile trailer.
It's just for like living and.
So you wanna allow
Or
three,
pickup.
3 living dwellings on.
You want 3 livable dwellings on a site?
Yeah,
Not recreational,
recreational vehicles, not dwellings.
Nope.
So, so exactly what is your wording?
Unless otherwise prohibited or restricted by this ordinance or state law, no more than 3 recreational vehicles may be temporarily occupied on a vacant lot for a duration of 90 days within a calendar year, and then everything else is the same after that.
Okay, motion's been made
I'll second that.
and
Motion.
seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, we will vote for the proposed language of temporary use. All those in favor, vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Vote, all those opposed, vote
No.
no,
No.
no.
so it's gonna stay how it is.
I would like to make a motion, to, instead of saying 3, vehicles or 3 recreational vehicles, keep it as 1 recreational vehicle, but keep it at 90 days. Just as we did with the accessory use, those
All-
seem to be in line.
All the language the same, except the 30 changes to a 9.
90,
Leave the between April and December. I gotta take this stuff.
I-
know.
A motion's been made.
I'm not, yeah, no, I'm not in favor of the April to December, I get rid of the April to December also, I just changed that 30 to 90. So essentially the same, motion that Tia made, but, not having the 3 trailers, just having your 1, RV on your property for 90 days. And my thinking, it's still limiting, so, you know, you're still putting a cap on how long it could be there. So it's not gonna be a junkyard and they're not gonna put a bunch of they're gonna use it for the summer. They're gonna use it for 90 day, or their winter. It's their hunting cabin or whatever they choose it to be. But they could do it for 90 days, not 30 days. That's my thinking.
In a calendar year.
Yes.
Okay, so a motion has been made to allow 1 recreational vehicle for a calendar year for a duration of 90 days. Do I hear a second?
Second.
The motion been made and seconded on that motion to allow one recreational vehicle on a year-round basis for a duration of 90 days. Any further discussion?
I'd
Let
like
me
to,
just say one thing, so if it stays on the property, so if there's 52 weeks in a year, and there's 2 days to every weekend, that's 104 days.
Yeah.
So if they skip a few weekends, they can keep that on the property permanently. And say they're using it 90 days.
You're right.
Okay. Okay.
All those in favor of these changes to temporary use on vacant lot?
Yes.
Yes.
I was soliciting.
Oh, come on.
I was soliciting.
I saw it. It was on TV.
And those opposed to these changes, vote by saying nay.
Nay.
no,
Hey.
no, nay, no.
So, I still think if somebody buys a lot next to you and hauls in a trailer and you have a average house in town that's worth $500,000, that you might not be happy with that. And I think that's what this is trying to not eliminate, but make temporary the use of a vacant lot. You can't do it in Idlewild, I know that.
It's like a different country.
So prior to placing, and we're gonna go to number 4, prior to placing a recreational vehicle on a lot, a permit from the building inspector is required. While temporary recreational vehicle is in use on the lot, the permit must be prominently displayed with protective covering from the elements at the edge of the lot so that it is visible from the right-of-way for the inspection by the building inspector without requiring access to the property. Failure to post a permit will result in revocation of the permit. What does our building inspector think of that?
I'm not in favor.
Just one more step.
Well, it's more permits, it's more inspections, it's more enforcement.
Yeah.
And flat out, when I'm busiest during most of the season, from spring through fall, I have all I can do to keep up with issuing building permits, and mechanical permits, and inspections. If I'm chasing campers too, that's gonna add to it. This is fairly simple. You get a permit, you post it, and I'm supposed to be able to drive by, see the permit there, and be happy. I guess I'm not in favor of adding more permits to my responsibilities
Okay.
and more enforcement.
It is weird. It's like-
Based on, Mr. Chairman, based on Bob's comments, I would make a motion to strike this, scratch it, whatever we call it, get it right out of,
Remove, I like that word.
remove this from
It's
the,
entirety.
A motion's been made. Anyone second it? Any seconds?
Second.
The other reason as well is if we do this, the selectmen are gonna have to come up with a fee schedule for permit. So that's another reason I would oppose it.
But is that a good thing to bring income into the town, or
Well,
no?
Yeah, it would generate some revenue, whatever
Uh-huh.
they decided to do.
Yeah.
But there again, it's adding to my already way overburdened schedule to try to keep up with. Not trying to dodge responsibilities, but it's just fact that
Does the permit have to be from the building inspector, or can it just be a permit?
Kate can do
he
it.
who enforces it.
it says in here it has to be issued by the building.
Okay.
What?
I said you could do the permits.
I can just do everything, right?
Oh, no, leave the girl alone, poor
If
thing.
something like this, if people are adamant that we do something like this, you could make it more of a notification
Mm-hmm,
than a permit being issued.
mm-hmm.
So somebody would have to notify the building inspector, whether it's me or somebody else, that, hey, we're gonna put a an RV on this lot.
How much does this happen? Do you have any idea?
Campers being put on properties, a lot of properties have campers on them. And for the most part, a lot of people come in and they use it for the weekend or a week or two, something like that. And it is their place to go, to get away from it all, so to speak. But you tend to see more and more, and I hear from other towns as well. You know, we're just gonna put a camper on here temporarily, next thing you know, it turns into a permanent dwelling. And then, you know, again, it's small numbers, but more and more stuff accumulates. Like Kate said before, we do have a situation, and we're not unique in this case, that we have a situation where people moved in. It was caught, it was complained about, it was caught before winter. Tried to be addressed, wasn't. And now it's continuing, and there's been an agreement on what's gonna take place. But in this case, the town is on the hook for covering
Costs the
some
town money
costs.
to put that person up.
And when that
They
person
could've
has
stayed
a,
there.
has a lot and they pay taxes, what do they pay for taxes to the town if they have a dwelling there that's a temporary dwelling?
If it's an RV,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't deal with that stuff.
Probably the same as you would if it's an empty lot, very little.
Right. So somebody's living there and they're not paying taxes, but they're using the dump, they're using Silver Lake, they're using all the things that we all pay for, but they don't pay for what we're paying
I
for.
guess they would probably pay the property tax, but they wouldn't, I don't know what assessment is on an RV versus a house. I have no
But
idea
the
how that
assessor
works.
would pick that up.
So it's on an
when he
empty
goes
lot,
out.
is what, bottom line, just make it clear, it's not
Yeah, it's on an
adjacent.
empty lot with an RV on it.
Right,
Yes.
but not paying taxes is true of every tenant in town. They don't pay the taxes, the landlord does. Or the property owner does.
And if it's
No,
over
like my
10
tenants
acres,
don't pay taxes, but they get to
if
use
it's over
it.
10 acres, it's in current use, so that means
It could be if they put it in.
they
current
pay
use.
very little taxes,
Yeah,
but they get all the support of the town.
I believe that's how it works, so if you had current use, as I understand it, I don't deal with the stuff Linda does, but if you have a property and you've got it in current use and you decide to put a driveway in or parking lot or suppose an RV, that portion, that square footage of all of that stuff is supposed to come out of that
Current use,
property,
right.
current use.
Yeah, and it's, I think it's 13 acres.
Is it, yeah, I don't know what the tax, how they
Anything over
calculate
10.
tax on that, or
And then
how
you-
it would be assessed, I don't know.
And that's the
And when you pull
assessor.
it out of current use, you pay a big,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're on the hook for it.
you're on the hook.
It's like a loan.
I
Yeah.
believe the penalty is the amount of money that you saved,
Right.
I think, something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how the assessment will go down,
Mhm.
but you're right,
But the assessor would have to discover that
yeah,
and do it.
yeah.
But anybody who rents a house or an apartment in town, they don't pay taxes to the town.
That's not what I'm
Well,
saying, that's not what I'm
I
saying
mean, they
at all.
don't pay directly to the town, but if their landlord is a reasonable, brilliant landlord, they're charging them enough money to cover the
Right.
taxes.
Well, same thing, like even if that person was.
You know, whether the check comes out of the left pocket or the right pocket,
Right.
it doesn't really
But
matter.
the landowner is still on the hook for the tax bill, where that place is parked. The landowner still.
Well,
pays.
the landowner
Yeah.
does owe it, but the landowner should be collecting from the
So-
people to cover that. and
So
they
as I
don't.
stated earlier, based on Bob not being in favor of this, I made a motion, which was seconded by Tia, to strike number 4 off of this. And my reason in doing that is because the building inspector himself is not in favor of this.
The
Okay.
chair
Well,
was trying to move this question.
Just wanna make.
I'll make an amendment to that.
Wait, he's
I'd
trying to
like-
say something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just another comment on it, and I'm still not in favor of adding more permits to my job responsibilities, but permitting does show up, the assessors. So if I issue a building permit, mechanical permit, the assessors see it in my software, they're gonna go out and do an assessment. The advantage of doing a permit for this type of thing would be, like you're saying, if there's no permit and nobody knows the camper's there, then there's no assessment being done, the taxes aren't being adjusted, so if a permit is issued, that would be flagged by the assessor, they would assess it for whatever appropriate tax would be. So in that sense, it would be a good thing.
I think
But
that- I think that my-
conversely, that you're saying the situation there could be actually making taxes go down if it looks horrible, you know what I mean?
It's possible. One of
It's
the arg-
detrimental.
One of the arguments under that junkyard ordinance, it talks about, basically being detrimental. One of the arguments can be, in my eyes, is that if you've got somebody that's let their property go, they're collecting all this garbage that everybody on the planet thinks is terrible, that's devaluing the neighbor's properties. That is causing them harm, financial harm. That, to me, is a reasonable argument for some of the messes that we try to deal with getting cleaned up. That's one of the things I mentioned.
Bob, you had mentioned about a notification. Does that create paperwork for you to do that?
It would, because they'd file it with me and I'd have to file it someplace, make note of it. So, yeah, it would add to my paperwork responsibilities at least. Whether a notification versus a permit is caught by the assessors, I don't know how that would work.
which would justify at least a nominal fee for, for the permit. I think also in linking things together, I think the town is sophisticated enough to, yes, you get the notification, the assessor gets the notification, and hopefully the emergency services gets the notification that, oop, there's somebody new in town, if there is a medical emergency. So I think there is a legitimate reason to look at a permit as being posted. And maybe you'll get an assistant.
So the assistant line has been removed from the budget as of last night, because, nobody in the town hall wanted it.
I'm sorry?
The assistant money for the assistant
Oh,
has been
yeah.
removed as of last night, it was voted on, because nobody felt they needed it, so, except for poor Bob, but it would've been shared, but, yeah, it was removed from the budget. Because it was in the budget last year, didn't get used, so we removed it.
But
My point remains though, that I think, the emergency services is there, the permit tells us that there's something going on, and if there are complaints or problems, that there is a way to
A paper trail.
look at that, yes.
Well, that's why I asked about a notification, if that would be easier to do it, and just pass it on to the assessors, and, it's out of your hands. You received it, you forward it, and that's it.
Well, for me, it would be receiving it, logging it, filing it, making that notification.
Yeah.
Right now, the way the permit notifies the assessors, the permits do, is the building permit software I
Yeah,
have.
so you're saying either way would make work.
So it would be better to permit it, because there's already a system in place to notify the assessor.
There's a system in place, but I think we would have to get in touch with Avatar to add the camping type of things to that software, so it shows up. And I don't know how the assessing stuff works, I have no idea, how that would work. Linda would have a better idea, certainly the assessor,
Well, they can go down and visit it, Kate, and look at it, maybe it's a view tax, they could charge money for it.
Can you go visit it? Yeah, you're adding to my job now. Okay.
But, so if I'm placing a recreational vehicle on a lot, can I live in that? What do I do for utilities?
They go to Danforth
Well-
and they dump out their waste, and they
You don't have a
generate.
septic system, you don't have a well,
right?
I lived in a
There's
motorhome for a year with my husband. We traveled the whole US and we lived in a motorhome, and you go to the dump sites and you get your water. And you
White
get-
Lake, we could do that, White Lake Park too.
Not anymore.
So under.
White Lake won't take.
They won't anymore.
They're
But you pay to
fear for
dump
their own
it.
septic system, and
You
they
can
will
go to
not let you
Danforth,
dump.
you
Yeah,
can dump all
Danforth
your
Bay,
crap,
for sure.
literally.
What's
But-
that?
You can go to Danforth and pay $35 and you
Yeah,
can,
or you can go
dump
to
all your
Gitche
waste.
and pay 30
Yeah.
over in West Ospey.
Yep.
There's places around,
Yeah.
but White Lake just quit doing it.
On number 4, prior to placing a recreational vehicle on a lot, you have to have a permit from the building inspector. If I just register my motorhome, do I need to get a building permit?
That's what this is saying in my,
Well,
Like, I
this-
already
this is
registered it
the-
with the town,
It's not a building permit, I guess,
Or
it's
a-
an RV
Yeah,
permit,
yeah.
whatever you choose to call it.
yeah.
But it would
but
have to come through me at this stage.
So I would
Again,
come and register and I would get a permit,
Maybe
no
if,
matter what, and then while the temporary recreational vehicle is in use, the permit
maybe
must
if
be
we
displayed.
don't have the ability to administer number 4, we should put it on hold.
I had made that motion and was seconded to get rid of this, number
So-
4.
A motion's been made and seconded to delete number 4. No further discussion. All those in favor of deleting number 4, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Good. No other recreational vehicles articles will be brought up tonight. No, it says no other recreational vehicles use is permitted on any lot except as specifically allowed by this article. Recreational vehicles are not permitted as primary dwelling units or as ADUs. I think that one we can all agree with.
Yep, I think so.
And we worked on that definition,
So removing mobile home.
and we have, oh, and I guess, okay, and we addressed all those pretty much, Bob, your notes?
So let's see. Yeah, I just had a comment here on section 85, ADUs. I don't think it was spelled out anywhere ahead of time. It was just spelled out accessory dwelling units. So people know what it means.
Where do you want this, Bob?
Oh.
The end of number 5, instead of just being
Five,
ADU, should be
5.7, what?
No,
recreational vehicles.
right after what we just did.
I'm
Yeah, that's okay.
like that. Okay.
Number 5 of the recreation vehicles recommendations there, instead of it just being ADU, it should
Oh,
be
sorry.
spelled out. Yeah. Well, I did have one more thing I forgot to bring up,
Oh, okay,
4.6. The idlewild residential district. And this should have been corrected back when the state first created an ADU law, but it wasn't. So, under 4.6A, permitted uses shall be primarily a district of single-family residences and accessory buildings. The second sentence is, one dwelling unit shall be the maximum allowable to any one lot in any one building. That's no longer valid because of the ADU laws. So that sentence should be stricken from 4.6A.
Which sentence,
Yes.
Bob? One dwelling unit shall be the maximum allowable on any lot in any one building.
Right, because that's saying that you can have one dwelling, you can't have an ADU. That's no longer the case, the state law on ADUs back when it first created.
oh, really, even in Idlewood?
Any district that allows single-family houses has to allow ADUs, and now, of course, we've got further regulations. So that should have been stricken back a few years ago when ADU laws came in. It wasn't, so it just suggests that we take that out. Which won't make the commissioners happy up there, I'm sure, but.
We're gonna make somebody happy over
I've seen
there.
them in Conway where they're like literally 6 feet from the back door and there's another unit. And I've seen 2 people build them like that and their lot, you know, I would say public water and sewer, is, you know, 1/4 of an acre.
Where?
Up off of like 16, you know how it goes up in the, before you get to the village, there's like, there's
Sunset
some
Hill?
roads up in there, I don't know the names of them, but
Yeah.
I've seen 2 up in that area. And I know another carpenter that was building one in a, on a lot like that.
So,
Bill.
so the ADU laws and all the things we've talked about, the building permits, the setbacks, all that kind of stuff still pertains.
Still,
You can create an ADU, you still gotta meet all the requirements as if you came in for a house permit. The only exception to that would be, it's really exception, it says that they're allowed to create an ADU in an existing non-conforming building. of that from happening. So if you have a barn that's 15 feet from the boundary that was built 30 or 50 years ago, whatever it was, before the setback became 25 feet, and they want to put an ADU in it, they can. We can't say, nope, you can't have an ADU because that building's 15 feet instead of 25. So that's part of these changes.
So you can make use of the structures that are already there.
Right. Right. As far as the septic, Mark, you mentioned something about trailers. Under the manufactured housing ordinance that we have, does say mobile homes or manufactured homes have to be connected to septic. That doesn't really cover RVs. It doesn't come under manufactured homes, so. We could always create that. if we needed to. But not really there.
The state is only making things easier for us. Oh, my land, we still have stuff to do.
Move along.
And I have to sit down, don't I?
Yep.
You have to do this is you're dealing with the zoning drinking water thing. Not yet, Mark.
Groundwater.
Not
No?
yet. No, you're not leaving yet.
You know, excuse
Sit back
me.
down.
I'm not leaving. I'm sitting
No.
down because we're talking about
Where's it, number two?
Parisi.
Not there yet.
Number 2, at the very bottom of your agenda.
number 2.
Update needed to zoning ordinance regarding drinking water resources and potential contamination sources for the town of Madison. That's the plan. If you read my emails that I had received from numerous people, that plan referenced in our zoning ordinance, and Bob can attest to that, is nowhere to be found. And that's what I was trying to
It's that right
earlier.
there.
That's,
So, it's not the same title anyways.
no,
We've looked for that map on several occasions since I've been here. It's been referred to, and none of us can find that map. And we've contacted DES, and they don't have it either, right, Kate?
no,
Yeah.
nope, they don't keep them, they said. The email's here.
They created it, so I don't know where.
What did he say? We don't keep copies of maps you may have produced at our office or digitally. I would ask your regional planning commission or country council if they can make a similar map with a new date and then modify your zoning to reflect the new date. That's what we got for the answer.
Conservation wouldn't have,
Hmm?
the conservation board wouldn't have a copy of that map somewhere, or?
I called Green Mountain Conservation to see if maybe they had something, but no one called me back.
Green Mountain didn't call you back?
Nope.
They want our money, but they don't want to call us back.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Avatar isn't coming out either.
He's sick,
Um,
he's sick.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's not coming tomorrow, he is, we don't want him. He's got the flu.
So what do we need to do?
Well, this is pending on, Sean Bergeron's office, trying to do some kind of a site plan that they're gonna be bringing to you. They wanna make sure they're within their parameters, so I don't know, I'm bringing it to you. 'Cause I wasn't here in 1999.
So you're saying they wanna do another one of these with Bergeron?
The state suggested
State suggested, would,
that we contact North Country Council, to see if they could do up a map, and then we'd have to change your zoning. To the new plan date.
there is another study going on right now, because we did this Watershed Protection Act that F&B Engineering out of Dover is doing
I
for
take
us.
your bill, yes.
You might wanna talk to them. And they're just doing the watershed of Silver Lake. But they may have some more information on what they're doing. They've done a lot so far, and they're gonna be working on it, cause they're gonna be almost another year before this is
I
done.
think what this Sean Wadsworth wants, he wants something to review, to make sure that they are within their parameters. And he says it's in your zoning ordinance, you have to provide it, so I can't pull it out of the air. So I guess I'm coming to you guys to ask you what you want me to do.
Just pull it out of the air.
I wish I could go out things out of
Take it
here.
out of the zoning board.
I'd like to just remove it, how's that? I know I can't. I know, that's exactly how my thought was. When I got these emails, I couldn't find, I mean, I looked everywhere that I thought of, Linda,
And why don't we just use that map?
I don't know.
It's the aquifer map, and that's what we're worried about.
It's okay, she
Why
just
don't we
shut the.
use
Oh,
Yeah, guys,
that map to define the district?
that's the, what goes on.
What do you think?
I think you'd have to compare the maps, what's this one cover versus what this mystery map
Oh.
covered, to make sure it's got the same information.
Can't find that now, we don't have it, DES obviously doesn't keep copies of any maps that they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm assuming that they prepared this map back in 1999, and now they have no copies of it. So what do you do now? You have to prepare a new map.
I guess you'd have to, look at what was the intent of that so-called map. What were they trying to capture, and does this capture the same stuff?
You were here then, right?
It was only a quarter of a century
I know you
ago,
were.
though.
I know you are.
Somehow I can't remember. I remember doing it, but I don't, we've had people who've inconsistently filed stuff.
Oh, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Yeah. If this map captures
It might be in the
whatever it is
corner.
that other map was supposed to do, then we might be able to switch the ordinance to refer to this one.
Yes, what else do we have? Unless that's wrong, which it,
How do we know?
huh?
How
If-
do we know?
Well, we'd just say it's right.
It might be in that corner, Mark. There's a lot of, old maps in that corner.
Have to go through it again, but I think we've gone through most of the maps anywhere that we could find, even in drawers upstairs. But we just weren't able to find that particular map. But we thought DES drafted it or made it, we ought to be able to get it from them.
I would say use that map. And if the applicant thinks the map is incorrect, have them prove that they're not over the stratified drift aquifer.
Is it this date here? That's a tax
There's
map.
that one, there's a map behind you.
I think it was 2000,
Makes
wasn't
any
it?
difference.
January 2000.
Yeah, well, this one, is
The one, the ordinance was April of 1999.
produced in 2004.
Yeah, you remember when we got that map.
You could use this one too.
They used to have the map of the
Just
bypass.
refer to that one there,
Oh, really?
See, it went all the
but
way
I
around.
can't keep buying NHDES on.
Interesting.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're not
Which is what-
by
Yeah.
NHDES.
Still has it,
So-
still have the land, or the state has the
yeah,
land.
the bridge would have gone by like where the stove shop is. It would have gone over Coleman's, over that whole pit, would have been a big bridge.
Conway didn't really like that though.
no, would have turned it into a ghost town. That would've
Yeah,
been sad.
like
Yeah.
Ospey.
Yeah, I would use, refer them to
It'll dump
any of
out.
these maps.
We're like 302.
There's there's the
Wow.
stratified
So you
drift,
totally cut
drift
it off.
aquifer transmissive. But I'm sure we've used, cause I'm sure Community Market wanted to put gasoline
through his
pumps in
property.
once and we said, oh no, you can't do that,
Yes.
I remember that,
so.
Do you remember the plan?
but I remember them saying no, and it being in the paper or something.
Yeah, I do remember that too.
Yeah,
So, do we change the ordinance and put in that plan?
sure.
I mean, I think.
Are we allowed to do that?
Well,
Yeah,
if you don't have a plan of
upgrade
record,
it?
you
Okay.
have, you have to do something, cause they're relying on something. Our zoning ordinance is saying we have it and we don't, so we've gotta have something for them to be able to use for their site plan review that they're gonna do.
and it's in the zoning ordinance,
right here.
And
That's
so
what
if
it
it's in
says.
zoning ordinance, we have to,
Write it and then have it go before the town.
or whether we can do it administratively.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Well, I would suggest looking to see what it is that's supposed to be addressing, and then make sure whichever one of these maps
Yeah.
Yeah.
is addressing the same
The
information.
groundwater
before you
protection
switch it.
district is an overlay district which is the existing underlying zoning and includes within its boundaries the wellhead protection areas and stratified drift aquifers shown on the map, entitled Drinking Water Resources and Potential Contamination Sources for the Town of Madison.
And
I
the
think what they're
GIS does that.
trying to do is they're trying to come to you guys with a site plan, but make sure that they're not within these parameters.
Kate, has anybody talked to Bergeron or Laura Lee?
That's who sent the email.
I know,
That's
I
where-
know, but she's been around for a while.
She's
She-
the one who sent the email saying,
I see
wants
that,
the
yeah,
plans.
but
She can't-
she doesn't remember anything, she's been around.
I gotta believe years ago,
Somebody
like
said
Green
the
Mountain.
GIS
I think it's gotta
check
be
it, and
these, whether it's that one or any of the maps that show the stratified drift aquifer.
But then, doesn't that say it shows wellheads too, in the zoning, the
Yeah.
map that
oh
it
yeah,
refers
it's
to?
in the zoning.
Yeah,
And
so
that
this-
doesn't show
This
it.
wouldn't show wellheads.
That's
the
what-
GIS shows it, but I think it's a little outdated. Cause or maybe it shows all of the, wells, you can put all the different levels on it.
Right,
And it shows the aquifer, and then it shows the protected areas.
yeah.
So you just print it
So I
offline,
can't- Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
yeah,
Oh, and that's
If it's on-
granite?
yeah.
So this is what they're looking for, so bear with me, because I'm not a scientist here. If possible, would you be able to send along both formats, the geo-reinforced PDF and the shapefile of the mapped stratified drift polygons for the Conway and Freedom quads that cover the town of Madison?
What does that even mean?
So
Quads.
I'm not a scientist, I don't really.
I would refer them
Who's
to,
asking for that?
Sean Bergeron's office, Sean Wadsworth.
Quads, I
He's a-
wonder if that's referring to topographic maps. Quad
That's
maps.
what it sounds
Polygon,
like.
see.
I would refer them to granite,
Sided shape.
the granite maps,
See
online.
it, and Green Mountain has an updated.
Tia, you said you
They should.
found it, something?
I found the GIS maps, which you can see, but I don't think that's what they want. I think they want the topographic like that, and they want the most updated one from Green Mountain, I would assume. And I think that Green Mountain did that one with UNH, right?
I wish
Does that
they'd
say-
call me back, yeah.
Yeah,
So then.
and you can go online and find that they have all the updated maps on there, so I
Sean
don't know why
Wadsworth
they need it.
emails, DES, there's a chain of emails, I think I gave it to you all. And, this guy says he doesn't have access to that particular map. If you go to the one-stop data mapper at the link below, you can view the potential contamination sources feature layer. You can also download the PCS data from the link below. But I think the problem is what is in our ordinance, that is the issue. They don't, they're trying to follow the ordinance, which is not correct. So we have to do something to make it correct. And that's when they came up with calling North Country Council.
Did you talk with them yet?
No, I was gonna talk, no, I brought this to you first. I'm not gonna just take it upon myself and go like, hey, cause that's gonna cost money, I'm sure. So I'll take my direction from you guys.
Is this for one of their clients?
They're not really saying much to me about it, but I think they're coming to the board at some point in time with a site plan. But I don't know where. And Lorelei was in the town hall yesterday. I don't know what she was doing, but I know they're trying to get an application together, and I think it's riding on this.
Tell her, go downstairs, look at the map on the wall.
Yeah, there you go.
Take a picture of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take a picture, here you go.
Cause as
Well,
far
they're
as you
looking
know,
for the
that's what
wetlands
we have.
too, so I don't know, I'm, like I said, I'm not a scientist.
They can figure it out.
I I have no idea.
I mean, this is pretty clear. It says the groundwater protection district is an overlay district, which is the existing underlying zoning and includes within its boundaries the wellhead protection areas and the stratified drift aquifers shown on the map entitled Drinking Water Resources
they
and
want that
Potential. So you don't really need that map, you need the map of the stratified drift aquifers.
Well, they're trying, as this guy argued with me, and said he's trying to follow the ordinance. And that's what our ordinance says, so we need to change our ordinance if that's not what we have.
Well, here's a map of the stratified drift aquifers over the, and then it says appeals where the bounds of an identified groundwater recharge area as delineated are in doubt or in dispute. Any person aggrieved by such delineation may appeal the boundary location to the planning board. Upon receipt of a written appeal, the planning board shall suspend further action on development plans related to the area under appeal and shall engage at the expense of the person aggrieved, a qualified hydrologist, to prepare a report determining the proper location and extent of the groundwater and recharge area relative to the property in question. That was a long sentence. I mean, I don't see that as very hard. Here's the map.
You wanna call him and tell him?
Yeah, I'll call him and tell him.
'Cause
Sean, what's wrong with you? Can't you read? Oops.
whoops.
But, yeah, I think it's a very warm and fuzzy kind of ordinance.
I don't think my telling him that
You
this is
what?
what it says, I don't think my telling him that this is what it says is gonna satisfy him.
Well, then you can't satisfy.
I'll bring your application to the board and then go from there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'll tell him, I guess, I don't know how do you defend something in the zoning ordinance that's not there? That's my, I guess that's my.
This is Hoyt
my
Road, so this is
issue.
the quadrant that they want.
That's what I'm afraid of, is too, is how do you defend?
The
And that
map in the
is
conference
there.
room would tell,
And that is the
I'm
aquifer,
sorry,
and
it was brought to my
is
attention,
protected
and
by,
I was,
but
I
they're
had
like
no
right
idea
off
what the
the
problems,
edge
and
or
I went to
something.
Linda, cause I'm like, what am I
Like
doing?
a
I
well
mean,
or something like that. They wanna make
just
sure
tell
they're
them,
not over.
yeah, I don't, yeah. Here is our evidence of the aquifer. Here is the ordinance. If you don't believe it, you have appeal process.
But we still need to change it, right? We still need to update it so that it reflects
Something.
one of the aquifer maps, probably
But how
that
do you
one,
defend it?
or the most recent one from Green Mountain. So,
How do you defend it?
so we have to decide which map we want to update this with, right? So that they,
This one.
one or the other, but we got to decide which one.
Let's move on, so look at time it is, please.
Yeah.
But you need an answer, right?
I do, I have to reply
She
back
needs
to
an
this
answer.
guy.
I suggest we say this map right here.
Okay. So what are we gonna do about our zoning ordinance? Are we gonna leave that old map in there?
No.
I mean,
I'm sorry,
what is, I mean, here's the map we have. This is what we know. Come and talk to us.
Okay.
So if you make that change in the ordinance, though, that will help this particular situation before the town votes on and accepts it. Town have to vote and accept that map now instead of this one.
Well, what map? The map that we don't have?
Yeah, the non-existent map, but if
I
you're
know,
making a
that's-
change in the ordinance to accept this, put that map, replacing that wording, does that have to go to town meeting before you can do it?
But the aquifer hasn't changed, so
Right. But he's gonna hang his hat on the legality, saying that's what's printed, that's what I wanna live by. if the planning board makes a suggestion that that wording get replaced with the name of this map, does that have to go to town meeting before you can start
I
using
don't
it?
know. We could have another public hearing in February and do that. But you should ask Carrie Ann.
In February,
Yes,
to make this up, but you have to have your zoning changes in before. And
we have time. We always have time in February, I think. It's not ideal, but. But, I mean, if this represents the aquifer and the aquifer is what we're trying to protect, what difference does it make if the map is the other, somebody did the science on the aquifer. I can show you where they did samples too. If Buzz hasn't dug them all up.
Are we ready, Kate, to ask Mark to step down? Let's see the audience, Mark.
Okay.
Okay, we're on case 25-07, continued from October 15th, 2025, and November 5th, 2025. Site plan review requested from Francis D. Parisi, Esquire, authorized agent for Vertex Towers LLC, 0 Tasker Hill Road, off of Oak Ridge Road. Tax map 206, lot 71. The proposed project is construction of a wireless communication facility consisting of a 100-foot tall tower, monopole tower on top of a 1-foot foundation, 105 feet to the top of the lightning rod. Inside a 70 by 40-foot fenced camp compound. Planning board to make decision on waiver requested, provided from Attorney Parisi after the December 3rd, 2025 public hearing decision. If you remember from the last meeting, he was sitting in the audience and Kate said he was writing up an ordinance change and didn't get it to her until, when, the next day, Kate?
9 o'clock that night when I'm upstairs
Okay.
with my computer.
Basically, what they're asking for, we approved everything last time, and part of our conditions was that they had to provide a permit, not a permit, a bond,
The waiver, yeah, the waiver.
a performance bond that was part of the negotiation between our attorney and the Idleweiss attorney. And that was part of our conditions. Now, the attorney, Parisi, wants us to change that and delete that requirement of a performance bond. So, it's before us tonight to say if we will accept his request to change it, or leave it the way we approved it at the last meeting, which requires a bond.
Well, one quick question I've got. I think that the representative from Idleweiss was here when we talked about that bond, and they're the ones that really want the bond.
Correct.
Because they're hauling that big heavy equipment up over their road,
Yeah.
and they want to be covered so that their road won't get broken up or the water system. Am I correct on that?
Yep.
Then why would we not?
We considered it and we put it in our conditions.
Okay, then,
So,
that's what we're gonna do then, right?
well, that's my feeling. I bring it up here so everybody can discuss it. If everybody's in agree with that, then that's what we'll do. We'll leave it as approved.
One second.
I mean, he's saying it's built on private property, and his thing here, yes, it is on private property, but
Right.
they're accessing it through Idleweiss's roads, and that was the,
So in
The
your
reasoning.
decision, we have, I had in here written waiver needed from Fran Parisi. Prior to issuance of a building permit, applicant shall submit a performance bond amount sufficient to ensure all site development construction is completed according to the final plan approved, section 6A and B. on private property, applicant requested waiver. Waiver required in writing, and that's what he gave you, so now that's what he's done. So now you need to vote whether you're gonna accept that waiver, and that waiver he's asking for, is that, he said he wasn't aware that we were meeting tonight. Well, he gave me the waiver after your meeting, so of course, anybody would think that you were going to be dealing with this tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he sent that email saying he was not aware until just now, the waiver request that he submitted at the last planning board meeting would be discussed at tonight's meeting. But he negated to say it was after the meeting, that's the point here. And he was unable to attend tonight. So if the planning board is inclined to grant the requested waiver, notwithstanding my absence, I would encourage the board to do so. However, if the planning board believes that the further discussion is required, I respectfully request that the matter be continued until the next regularly scheduled meeting of the planning board, which is February 4th.
In my mind, we don't need further discussion, we've already made the decision. I mean, if he wants to waste his money and time to come up and talk to us next meeting, that's,
Well, the question is, Kate, then do we accept his request for a waiver?
I'm not gonna say you should or you shouldn't.
I'll entertain a motion.
Not me, and I'm not making it.
I'll make a motion that we complete, what's the word? That we deny the request for the waiver and continue on as we had planned originally.
Okay,
I'll second that.
second, all right. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of accepting the waiver, say aye. All those not in favor of accepting the waiver, say no.
No.
No. It's passed.
Okay.
Next item, well, we have Mark sitting here, Kate. We have something on the,
Well, you were gonna talk to him,
The
I
Coleman
thought,
pit.
about this, a survey.
right, but why can't we ask him before he sits down?
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
sit down.
Don't sit down, please.
Yeah, go back to your chair.
Back to your chair.
You know where? I'm ready to lay down and go to sleep. I
Yeah,
have
really.
3 o'clock this
Cole
morning.
hasn't seen a meeting like this, this is how they go, we watch them, they can be,
My third 5-hour meeting.
well, I have.
Are they
another-
gonna impeach me?
Mark, at our last non-public meeting, our attorney advised us to ask you and explain what they think about what's going on up at the site. And the only way that she can pursue that is if the area in question is surveyed. Then if it's surveyed, then she can take that survey and compare it with the, where they're working up there, how far they are from the property line, if they've impeded on your property. But the only way she can do it is if it's surveyed. So they're coming back and telling us, she cannot go to Coleman and ask them to get a survey. It's gonna be up to the property owner, which is you, to get a survey.
Well, he's not over my property, he's over his property.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the corner right there.
Right, but it's, in order for Kerry Ann to do anything, it's gotta be surveyed. Gotta have it on paper, a survey. So they can verify that. That's the only way that she can go and pursue that with their attorney, is what she told us. So, she asked us to relate this to you, which is,
So, but it's a zoning violation in a ordinance, in a 155E violation. Where he's clearly onto a piece of property that he owns that that is rural residential in current use recreation and, does not have a
Permit?
permit.
Mhm. All right, that is different from what we had, Kate, right?
So it has nothing to do with encroachment on your property, it's got to do with
Well,
the misuse of his
there is an
land.
encroachment on my property question, but that's my bad. He's supposed to be 50 feet away from my property line and he's, I don't know, 15 feet.
But your argument is he's using his property in a way that shouldn't be used because it's not permitted for the way he's using it.
It's rural residential
Okay,
and it's a commercial use. And so it's a zoning violation and on that lot, he has no permits, no
okay.
gravel
So
ordinance.
that's not what we were
Right.
pursuing, okay.
Right, that's not what we talked about. So the first item, would have to show a survey in order to pinpoint that point you're talking about. And then the second item, which is new, which Kate, you can go back to, Carrie Ann and relate that information to her. And as to how, we should proceed from there.
But the corner's right there, it's, I mean, he had it surveyed, cause he wanted to buy property from me. So he had it surveyed to define our common line, cause we have a common line, a
Mhm.
couple common lines. But, and he had the corner set, so.
So
Did you,
I have a question.
I don't,
It's not a completely new issue, there were two issues. One was the cutting too close to your property line,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And then the second issue was that they have two lots, and you're saying that they're excavating too close to their boundary.
they're excavating over the boundary line into a lot that is rural residential.
When I walked up there on the snowmobile trail, there's fencing that's there. And
Yes.
then there's flags, and there's a stone wall,
Yeah, the stone
And then-
wall is the property line.
but there's no excavation on the other side. It's a snowmobile trail,
So if
where
you,
I walked.
if you follow the stone wall north, so towards Mount Washington, you should be able to walk clearly to that, to the far corner down by Cranmore Shores. And you get to, it's maybe 100, 200 feet, there was a corner, did you see the corner?
I don't know specifically.
Oh,
I walked the entire length
But,
of the snowmobile trail,
but,
all
yeah,
the way
I
to
mean,
the,
I mean, you can see on Landglide that he's clearly over the property line.
is it him cutting over it, or is he actually digging? Cause the pictures that we had, there was no digging over the line.
Oh, there's digging.
It was,
Read 155E and what the definition of the excavation is.
I've read through 155E. Yeah, but my question is, it's a snowmobile trail, so
Yeah.
it's bare, and then there's trees cut
Mhm.
either by the snowmobile clubs or
No,
by them.
yeah,
But on the other side of that fence, that's where the excavation is. It's not on the other side of the fence or the other side of the stone wall.
the fence is on the new lot, his Kemet lot.
Okay, so they put that fence in when?
That fence is probably 2 years. They actually fenced in part of the bypass corridor too.
So you're saying that they excavated over their line, over the property lines, and then put a fence in?
Yeah.
Do you have pictures before?
Yeah.
That would be helpful, I think.
Are those the pictures that you gave us before?
Yes.
Okay, because we have those, Kate, right?
Yep.
And then the after? And then after?
And,
After the excavation and the fence was installed?
yeah, yeah.
I don't think I saw that.
Okay.
I just saw one where there were photos of, that you had taken, of a line, and then one from, Google Earth, maybe?
One
That-
from Landglide.
This one
Mapping
referring to-
service.
Referring to this one? This came with Carrie Ann.
Carrie Ann did that one.
Pardon?
She did that one. Carrie Ann did that one, actually.
Yes,
She
she did
it
this one.
herself. She zoomed in on it.
Oh, okay.
You remember this? There's no reference to where on that the property line is.
And this is on Google Earth.
I don't know where
It says Google Earth.
it does, okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen this, Mark?
So I didn't hear Carrie referred to as 155, that thing at all, when she spoke of it. Like, she just thought it was a boundary dispute, but it's different than that. It's a zoning dispute. So she doesn't have the right information.
Would have to speak to her again.
Yeah.
Originally it was boundary.
But we were presented with both issues.
Yeah, but she didn't talk about the other issue that much when she was here. But that seems like it's the main issue.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a little further north than this.
Mhm.
That would be this northern part of it. So,
Up through here.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Can Mark talk directly to Carrie so that there's not all this back and forth confusion?
No, I
If
don't
she
think so.
comes, no, okay.
We'll have to relate that to Carrie.
I can ask.
That would be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll email, I'll email her and ask her.
okay. I think that's it. Come on back.
I was hoping for an impeachment and immediate dismissal.
I can't wait.
You need Trump. Think he's gonna get impeached?
Well, I was doing the Trump earlier at the Master Plan Steering Committee, because I slept through most of that. Thought I was acting very presidential. So, see
Well,
if I can
good, this update will be news to you too then. I saw you sleeping a little bit over there too.
Did you?
I
Oh,
did.
that's so awful.
Gross, yeah. Are we going, am I supposed to do the update now?
Yes, I
Okay,
think we're all
okay.
set.
All right, well, it was a riveting meeting, don't listen to him. It was our kickoff meeting, so we are working with North Country Council, and we had 3 of the consultants. One was the executive director, but she was aligning us with their schedule for phase 1 of the revision of our master plan. And I thought it went well. We talked about what they're gonna do next. They're going to analyze our survey results. They're helping us set up the visioning forum. So we'll invite the community to come and meet with us and they will host that and help us out with that. They are also helping us with the questions that we would like to ask individuals and hold group forums, smaller group sessions, stakeholder sessions. And that's all on vision and land. And then that will take us through to June or July, where they hope to have that finalized for us, those two sections. And then that will lead us to phase 2, for which we would need a warrant article to continue our work on for the remaining piece of that, which was $12,265. So I guess we would need that to be approved here and then bring it to the select board to be put on this ballot.
So we have to ask the selectmen to put a warrant article for the balance of our North Country Council commitment,
Yeah.
so, to finish this master plan.
Yeah, it would be to raise and appropriate the sum of $12,265 to the Master Plan Expendable Trust Fund for the purpose of updating the town's master plan, I think.
Sounds
That's
perfect.
it. And I feel like asking now is probably better than,
You have to tonight.
yeah, or we would have to wait until next season to do that. And that's all I have.
You read, gee, I didn't get all that, sorry.
That's okay.
You're losing me.
It's all right, to raise and appropriate
Yep.
the sum of 12,000, oh,
Yep.
you already got that,
Yeah,
to the Master Plan Expendable Trust Fund
thank you.
for the purpose of updating the town's master plan. And we weren't sure what their time frame was going to be initially. That was TBD in our contract, so we're kind of figuring that out now.
Yeah, that seemed good.
So we just gave you 12 back and now we're taking it back.
I know.
So
That's
how that
exactly
works.
what went through my mind.
That's how it works. Give it back, give it back. So are you doing a motion or anything, or no, I'm just asking you to make it up?
We can make a motion, but, sure. Make a motion to,
What Tia said.
Yes,
so when you make a motion,
I'll make the motion.
okay, so we second it.
Second?
All the-
Donna.
All
John,
the-
thanks, Donna.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, I'll get
Opposed?
that to Linda
The ayes have it.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Chairman's report, that report is way beyond my bedtime. Selectmen's report, I think Adam's in bed already. Correspondence and administration,
Couple things, so I did get a letter from Carrie Ann. Effective January 1st, her fee went to $275 per hour, so not much, but I just wanna let you know that's what it
Okay.
is. You also need to start working on your annual
Oh.
report.
yes,
If you want a copy of what you did last year, I have it with me.
oh, sure,
And then I gave you all in your packets, just the dates and meetings and everything, that's in the last page of your packet, just so everybody, because you were asking for the conservation, the dates, so I figured, you know what, I'm gonna give everybody dates.
Yep.
So,
And I don't know, candidacy dates on it? Candidacy dates, that's what we were talking about last night.
no, that's not on
I know,
my stuff,
I'm
that's
up.
Becky, I think, who does that stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm up this year. Anybody else?
Yes, you are.
My,
It's coming right up,
yeah,
filing period. Filing period's coming right up.
oh, huh.
I think Becky was working on that stuff already. I heard yesterday. Let's see, I can tell you right now, I have everything in my book.
I could run it down.
You are correct, all
Yes.
marks. You are also earmarked for this year.
Uh-huh.
And Donna's good. Everybody else, Tia is 2026.
That's this year?
Yeah.
Or at the end? Means it's up in 2026?
I think you have to be
Elected.
thank you.
Oh, okay, so do I need to
Well-
file then?
Let me talk to Becky and see if she's printed out anything. She does this stuff, so she
Okay.
reports it to me, but I have a sheet, just, I know, just to give you a heads up of when your term is up. So Carl, Paul, and Tia are up in 2026.
I'm not, because I was just came
Your
and filled
term,
in.
you were appointed until March of 2026, the term is 2028, so you were appointed, so
Oh, okay.
you are, but
Because
until
nobody
March,
voted
though,
me
you
in.
have to be reappointed.
She can run. You
Or
can run.
whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Cause she's a member.
so that would be, I mean, because I had the 1-year seat.
Right, correct. And Joe, you're appointed to 2026 too, and your term is, and the term is 2027, so you're also on the list.
Yeah,
think
so
you
fight
both
over the
were-
1-year terms.
Correct, that's right.
Okay,
I'm
what's
the
up, 1
senior
year?
member there, I'm gonna take that
3
1-year
years.
seat.
You were just 1 year, Tia
If
Donna
there,
and Joe.
we must have 2 years left. We must be
You are good 2027,
20,
and Paul, 2027.
yeah.
Correct. And we have vacancy.
This
so-
Paul.
This Paul.
That Paul, sorry,
Yes.
not you. You're,
So the seats that are open are a 3-year seat and a 1-year seat?
you're a 3-year seat. for
I'm
this.
1 year.
Right.
No, I got the 1 year.
As a write-in,
I was a write-in.
Yeah.
Didn't wanna
Oh,
Paul
see how I felt.
3 years.
Yeah, you didn't file, and then we were like, well, too bad.
Yeah, because I thought I had to. Right,
Are we done?
Just putting it out there, letting everybody know what they've got.
I'll take the 1 year.
Take a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that
Do-
motion.
Do we have to do the non-public?
No.
No, we just
No.
didn't.
No.
Oh, that was open. Oh, gotcha.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, guys, that was hard work. So, hopefully we got it right.
should only be on for.
I'll be here.